Smile. Breathe. And just remember, it's too late to get out of it, so you might as well go on.
Do you ever get the feeling that people are incapable of not caring?
You know, I'm screwed up and average enough that I could write a song that'll live on forever. And then after that, it don't matter. I am the king of gay chickens.
No, seriously, what the fuck?
Honestly, you're in a memory in your subconscious.
Fuck! Seriously?
I don't know what you've been told, little lady, but the rest of us start at 9. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Good morning.
Hey, Benny! Looks to me like you're on the wrong side of the river!
Is it gonna be like this all the time?
It's all futile, isn't it? Everything you try and do.
Yeah, just like existence.
Well, I said everything.
Mm.
So just like, I said everything, so obviously that includes existence, okay?
Ah, okay.
So just like listen. Fuck's sake.
How you going?
Oh, great.
Yeah?
Brilliant.
Seem a little disappointed.
No, I'm good. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be making content. That's exactly what I want to do.
Oh, okay.
You know, I love it. Isn't it just embarrassing though, isn't it? At the same time, it's so hard to not just be embarrassed by it.
Making content.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Because I try to avoid doing that. I try to be like, oh no, it's like a project and, you know.
Well, I think the content...
It's just,
that...
it's debasing. It's like, I feel like being involved, doing anything that's content related, it's the same feel. Sometimes it's the same feeling as like writing a cover letter.
Oh God.
It's debasing in the exact same way. Anytime you like post about it, you're like, asking people to listen to your shit, which you have to do regardless of any kind of creative pursuit you're in.
True.
You know, and I think no one likes it.
No one I think
that's
you
why
have to ask for such a long time until you stop asking. And at that point, you either...
Well, I guess at a certain point you stop asking because...
You either don't give a fuck or people are already listening, so you don't have to ask anymore.
Yeah.
Those are your two options.
Those are the two options, and...
I
guess we're going to have to stop giving a fuck.
I think the content that we are putting into the world, I like to look at it on a positive light, that it's not just us, like, making shitty TikToks where we, like, cook waffles for a minute and then go to put a little bit of syrup on, but instead it's a fucking mass amount of syrup and it's like, oh, this is hilarious, and then have to sit there and clean a kitchen afterwards.
Yeah.
That sort of shit.
What's the difference with what we do?
All those bad fucking disgusting cooking videos of people just making weird disgusting foods and being like, oh, it's delicious, you should try it.
Some of them look pretty good though.
Do they though?
It's very hard to do.
Or is it like those people
a lot of
who grab,
sound
like,
editing to make food look good.
A plastic bag full of popcorn kernels and then put that into the fry pan so it melts the plastic and then lift the rest of the bag out. But you've still melted fucking plastic into your fry pan. And
yeah, that's fucked up.
People are fucking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they always have been. It's just now it's all getting filmed.
I like to think we're a little bit more normal than most of those people.
Yeah, but like... I mean, that's not that good. Our unique selling point can't be we're normal people.
Well, I like to believe that...
The good thing about our podcast is that it's not a cooking TikTok channel. That's the good thing about our movie podcast.
I don't think we embarrass ourselves.
That's what sets us apart, is that we don't do weird, gross stuff that you can see.
When you finish
an
episode
we say weird
of this,
shit that you can only hear.
When you finish an episode, at least of Turns of Frase,
yeah,
there have been episodes of Craigslist that hurt us emotionally.
Yeah,
but when we finish an episode,
I'm pretty hurt emotionally right now. I'm very vulnerable at the moment, Isaac.
We feel pretty good about a lot of the stuff that Brendan Fraser does, though.
Yeah, well, I feel great about nearly everything Daniel Craig did. But even if you don't feel good about it, you feel good about being on the journey.
There is a journey. We are on a journey.
We're on a journey, aren't we?
Yeah.
To what, though? I mean, he's already
finally
won.
have you watched The Whale?
He's already won. No, I haven't watched The Whale.
I know,
Isaac.
that's our journey.
My thing is, I'm the guy who hasn't watched The Whale.
Yeah, but our journey is to
He's
get
already
there.
won the Oscar. Everyone loves him. We are so fucking just late to the party on this thing. We're doing something we've never done before, and we jumped on a bandwagon, and we're just paying the price for it.
Oh.
Because anytime you talk about it, it's like headline, good thing is good actually, and it's just
So you feel as though we're just tagging
swimming
along for the
around.
ride.
We're contributing nothing, Isaac. We're adding nothing to the world. This is just a completely pointless exercise, and it's just absorbing time, precious time that we'll never get back. Hours and hours, just floating away, and then eventually we'll just be dead or old or both, and this will be our legacy. This right now.
I guess we should stop.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Exceptional Thieves. This is a podcast where Isaac and I review and rewrite movies. I'm Sam.
I guess I'm Isaac.
And this is the 7th episode of Turns of Frase, our Brendan Fraser podcast.
The premiere.
The premiere, the internet's number one. That's definite. See, even that. We're not even the internet's number one Brendan Fraser filmography podcast. You know what that feels like?
No.
To be an adult.
To be number 2.
To be number 2 at the weirdest, most unnecessary thing.
I think we could still be number 1.
Well, we might get there, but then even if
Fuck 'em.
you win, that's still shit.
No, see now there's a fight. Now there's something to beat.
What is there to beat?
Originally, this was just for fun, for shits and gigs.
Yeah.
Now
we're
in a race, not to finish first,
well, that's definitely
just
not
to
gonna
be
happen.
better.
Okay, so guys, we found out about
To be better.
we found out about the Fraser's Edge. What seems like a very nice and good Brendan Fraser filmography podcast. It started like last year.
Yeah, they were ahead of us.
There's so many movies ahead of us. They sound like lovely guys. And I mean, good for them. But I mean, as I was saying, we've never been in this territory before. Because Daniel Craig will always have that.
True.
That is virgin territory that we conquered. And that's ours. We did the Daniel Craig show. No one knows about it, but it's there.
It exists.
It's there on the internet. We did the Brenton Thwaites show. No one's going to take that away from us. We're going to take that.
I think people will
we're going to take that to our graves.
Will like go out of their way not to try and beat that.
I'm going to lie in my coffin holding a USB with all those episodes on it. But then we made the terrible mistake of trying to do something more popular. And
do something for the people.
Yeah, and I really tried to find what other Brendan Fraser content out there. And I was like, oh, this hasn't been done. I know about the Brendan Fraser podcast. They've been going for like 6 years. There's a couple of other Brendan Fraser related things. There's one called Mummy Dearest, which like started with a review of the Mummy, but now it's just about everything. And sometimes they talk about themselves as a Brendan Fraser podcast, but it's very much just like they say they're like pop culture from the 90s, 2000s, and now. So quite broad.
Jesus. That's basically
But
everything.
But if you like Brendan Fraser filmography podcasts and you've really had enough of us, I can only recommend you head over to the Fraser's Edge. But their name is Travolting because they did John Travolta first. And I guess they'll always have that.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I didn't find them when I was trying to find Brendan Fraser stuff. Because it's not a searchable name, the Fraser's Edge. Well, I think it is on YouTube, but on podcast form. On podcast platforms.
Travolting is still a thing. But that seems like a harsh thing to do to yourselves, to watch John Travolta. Like he's done a lot of stuff.
Travolta. I don't know if they watched all of John Travolta, but they did a lot.
I'm going to assume they've watched it all. Otherwise, why would you bother?
Well, I mean, I've only just started looking into their oeuvre, but they've only got 120 eps. So to me, that says they can't have done all of Travolta
and
now
30
be like
episodes of Fraser
or Phrase.
Maybe. I don't know.
So anyway,
Maybe they do the smart thing and just avoid
Maybe they're just
the
doing
terrible shit.
Well, you'd say that, but they've done an episode on dogfight.
Oh,
So
well, I want to know their take.
So that, yeah,
Did they fucking hate it?
I'm really
as they
looking
fucking
forward
should?
to listening to that. Probably not. They're probably really nice about it because they saw depth in it that we
didn't exist.
that we didn't even try
They've
to.
read between lines that are not there.
Probably doing a much more mature and appropriate take on some of this material. Anyway, if you like the fucking show or whatever, you can follow us on Twitter. Exceptional Pod or Exceptional Thieves on Instagram. Send us an email, exceptionalthieves@gmail.com. Because Exceptional Thieves is our... if you're coming from Travolting,
Yeah.
Exceptional Thieves is our Travolting.
It goes with us everywhere.
It goes with us everywhere we go. Well, that's the umbrella company. If you listen to every episode, you must be sick to fucking death of us explaining that as well. God, we're just pleasing no one, aren't we? Not even ourselves. Just wall-to-wall distaste in response to... And why would it not be that? Because it's just us talking. We've just made the same mistake every two male friends make, which is like, us talking should be recorded for everyone. Probably not.
I don't think that's a mistake. I think the world needs this.
I think the only person who could even be mildly interested in any of this stuff is Brendan Fraser. Obviously, he loves it. And one of our future children. Who's like, I want to find out more about my father since I don't get to spend much time to him since he
Since
died.
he left when we were...
Well, since he died in that plane he was making on the roof.
Well, Christine listens.
Yeah, Christine listens. Thanks, mate. We really appreciate it. But she's a great person, but that's a pretty thin tether to the world. And so if you
You can follow us.
and apparently one of the strengths of Fraser's Edge is they just start talking about the movie straight up,
they
which
do.
we've never done and we never will. Should
Well,
we
I
do
don't
it
think
now?
you can start.
We could do it now as a test.
Do you have any Craig news?
No,
Okay, well, we don't have that.
I've got no Thwaites news.
I've seen a lot of movies lately.
I have not seen many good movies.
Well, then we don't have to
lately.
talk about them, so that's fine.
I saw the end of Succession ended,
Oh, okay.
so that was kind of a big deal.
Okay, cool. That's a
That was-
show, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Did somebody succeed?
Well, it's not. It's HBO, so it's not really. It's more than a show. You know what I mean? It's more of like a cultural event.
Are there episodes?
Yep.
It's a show.
I would.
No,
No,
it's a show.
it's more of a.
It's like if you sat down and watched all the James Bond movies chronologically.
It's a great
It's a
show.
show.
Yeah. Okay.
So you don't want to talk about other movies? You saw
Brilliant.
you Fast 10 your seatbelts. You saw it.
I did see Fast 10 Your Seatbelts.
You fucking loved that shit.
I did enjoy it,
Yeah, you did.
but just because I'm on board with that stuff.
God, yeah.
Fast X is fine, and people keep saying that it's bad, but they're just pointing out all the ways in which it is a Fast and Furious movie. I'm like, yeah, that's what this is.
Yeah, it's
That's
terrible.
what
It's
we
great.
do here. And I really enjoyed Jason Momoa in it. Probably the best villain this series has ever had, because he has dared to do what no one else in the Fast and Furious movies would ever dare to do, and that's seem a bit gay. That's no one else would dare go anywhere near that. But Jason Momoa is more than a man than the rest of them, I'll tell you that much. No, we're getting into it.
We're
Because
just
we've
going
gotta-
straight in.
Because we've got to beat the competition. I'm going to now listen religiously to every one of their episodes.
Oh.
Figure out their game.
Oh,
Figure out
okay.
what they're about.
I think it's to watch.
This
and
is all
talk
jokes,
about-
by the way.
Brendan-
This is, I'm hoping this... I would actually love this lead to, a fruitful collaboration.
Yeah.
We'll get them on the
If
show.
they want to just wait for 2 years and
if
we'll
they
catch
could,
up,
If they could pause for a couple of years so we can join them in the
We
early
can-
2000s.
we can watch a movie together.
Then, yeah. Anyway, today we're talking about a fantastic movie from 1993. We've breached into 1993 with $20. Final note on School Ties from the previous episode.
Oh, sweet.
Pat McCorkle.
Terrible name.
Well, what's wrong with
McCorkle.
McCorkle? McCorkle, my
That's
lad.
unfortunate.
Pat McCorkle
It's just fun to hear.
It is. I think that's
Pat McCorkle.
I think that's a good name.
Will you come over here and Pat McCorkle?
What is? No, I'm not going to ask any more questions. And no, I'm going to shut that down. No, they were the co-casting director for School Ties. They said, I saw over 5,000 young men auditioning.
Jesus.
Those were videotape days. Anyone who is now between the ages of 40 and 50 auditioned for School Ties. We looked for a year and a half for the David Green part. Noah Weil, Kyle Chandler, Matthew Perry, all those kinds of guys read for it. Did I not say how well Matthew Perry would have fit in that film? Did I not say that?
You did.
And it seems like I knew better than Pat McCorkle over here. Than old Pat Mac.
They took a long time to find someone for a movie that was like, I think it's good, but it's not.
I think they thought School Ties was going to be a big deal at the time.
True.
So,
as you should when you're making a movie, you should think it's going to be a big deal and care about it a lot. That's important.
You can care about it a lot without thinking it's going to be a huge deal. I mean, at times I've cared about this podcast.
It's a huge deal.
And as we've established,
it means
doesn't
nothing.
Just speaking into the wind.
We're speaking to each other.
Yeah, but we don't have to be doing all this shit to do that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm getting there. It's fine. I'm gonna rev up in a minute and start doing good podcasting.
Okay, cool. Well, do you want me to introduce the film we're talking about today? Or
yeah, that'd
do
be
you wanna
great. You
do it?
never introduced the film.
Well, I don't.
Okay.
That's your
All right.
role.
Well,
generally.
Well, no. It's just I just start doing it.
True.
It's not because I want to do it. I just know that I've got to pick up the slack.
Okay. Hey.
I just know there's a lot of fucking dead weight around here, and if some of us could just liven up a little bit, then maybe this whole thing would go a little bit smoother, and we'd be a little bit closer to our magnificent competition. There are
Today.
What's the
No. Today.
we found our Shelbyville. What's the good
Shelbyville.
What's the good town in Parks and Rec?
Oh, fuck. I don't remember. Where are they from? They're from Pawnee.
Yeah.
And next to Pawnee is... Oh, fuck. I like that it's the good town. Did you just Google
I have to get this.
what's the good town?
They are Eagleton.
Eagleton.
And we're going to get them.
We're coming after you.
But then at a certain point, we'll have us and the hosts of the Fraser's Edge. We'll sit down opposite each other in a diner, Heat style. And we'll have a moment where we both realize that, we're not so different, you and I. Mm-hmm. But also we realize that neither of us can stop. We both have to keep podcasting in a deeply confrontational manner in pursuit of the ultimate prize, which is Brendan Fraser's seal of approval. Because eventually we're going to find Brendan Fraser and we're going to say, Brendan, which is the definitive...
We've been searching for him for a while.
Which is the definitive filmography podcast for you? Is it us or that one that's actually named after John Travolta? Which one do you want to... Up to you, Brendan. But just bear in mind, we are the ones who succeeded in finding you. And that'll be our scene
Assuming
from the
we
end
get
of
to
Heat.
meet him
That'll be our
first.
bank heist. Where lots of people get shot. Are you going to introduce the movie or not,
Well,
Isaac?
you
You
keep
said you were
talking.
going to. Yeah, you got to
just
cut
keep
in.
talking.
Yeah, you got to... Yeah, if you want to... You want to do the structure of the show, you got to keep that in mind and cut in. I'm just going to keep going.
I can hear that. Today we're talking about $20. 1993 is $20, which is, I guess you could call it an anthology movie.
Yeah.
That follows several different stories.
You could call it a comedy drama.
It hits a lot of those.
Some people do. Comedy drama crime.
It checks some of those boxes, but it doesn't, I think, fit into any of those things as snugly as one would like.
It's very strange, this film. Yeah. Directed by Kiva Rosenfeld and with a amazing cast.
A huge, and Even the tiny little cameo bits
Yeah.
are people who've done heaps of shit since.
Yeah. Jeremy Piven.
What?
Jeremy Piven as nervous store clerk.
Getting held up by fucking
It's so
Christopher
great.
Lloyd.
Yeah, you got Lloyd, you got William H. Macy, you got
Buscemi.
Big Boy Brendan, you got Buscemi, you got
Elizabeth Shue.
you got the Schuster, you got Big Boy Schwimmer,
The Schwim.
you got Spalding Gray,
You got the principal from Kindergarten Cop.
and you got Linda Hunt as the little homeless woman.
Yeah, the principal from Kindergarten Cop.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
I clearly need to rewatch Kindergarten Cop.
You should. It's great. The next filmography
I'm starting
we're doing
to-
is Arnold, so...
I'm starting to fall off. I'm starting to fall off with my Kindergarten Cop trivia. And that's pretty disappointing.
So, massive cast. And everybody does a great job. No one's doing shit.
All the acting's good. Good acting.
Good acting.
Good acting and everything.
It's not a bad movie. I just don't think it's very
guess.
entertaining.
Yeah, it is. I think none of it is bad in and of itself, but it's all a lot of it that.
It's a
Would
day in the
be-
life.
Well, yeah,
It's several months in the life. But
yeah, but
it's-
like it's a day in the life of a bit of money.
Yeah.
So that's just
Also-
a weird. It's that, for obvious reasons, is a bit thematically incoherent and doesn't really.
By the end of the film, I never want to touch another fucking $20. Like, I never want to touch money.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, thank God we
when
don't
you
have
when you
to
see
anymore.
the $20 bill with all these other pieces of money, they're all so clean compared to this specific $20 bill.
Yeah. Well, you don't lick money that looks like that. You lick clean money.
Oh yes, straight out of the ATM.
Straight out of the ATM into my mouth, please. That's how I take it out. Because you got to take that opportunity. That's how you know it's clean.
That's the only time
I
you can
rip
put
it out.
in.
I rip it out. No, I rip it out with my teeth from the machine, and then I use my mouth to put it into my wallet.
Nice.
And that's
It's
how.
very hygienic.
Yeah. Well, and after that, obviously, it's soiled.
Wow. The only way to defeat all the diseases is to catch them all.
Exactly.
It's like Pokemon.
Yeah, it's like Pokemon.
So $20, 1993 anthology
Yeah.
film,
Yeah. Based on
a true story.
Yeah. Yeah, someone put a GoPro on a $20 bill and it rattled around Minneapolis for a day.
GoPro that's like 500 grams.
Yeah.
Just dangling from a
Some
piece of
people
paper.
might think they're looking at a $20 bill stuck to a GoPro, but in fact, you're looking at a GoPro stuck to a $20 bill. And is based on a screenplay that was nearly 60 years old at
Fuck.
the time. So originally written by Andre Boheme in 1935.
Jeez.
In response to a movie that had come out around that time, something to do with like $1 million, like different people inheriting $1 million and what they did. And obviously more sort of Depression eras, he was sort of doing a spin on that of the way just $20 could affect so many different people's lives.
And 60 years beforehand, $20 would affect people's lives in a much bigger way than $20 affects people even in the 90s.
Yeah, it would have been a much bigger deal. And he wrote it. It was never filmed. I think he was a filmmaker, and then his son Leslie found it in the 80s, like on a shelf.
That's
and then like
cool.
revised it and updated it for the modern day, and then it turned into this film, which apparently every actor wanted to be in. I guess this is one of those movies where they try and do a Love Actually every couple of years.
Yeah, it feels like you're watching like that New Year's Eve shit or
because
Valentine's Day.
you can get everyone because they only have to be on set for a few days. So like, this person's Cameron Diaz is in the movie, but really
she was there for 2 days.
If everyone is cameoing, then you can get everyone.
I think
she hasn't done a movie since like 2014.
Cameron Diaz
Yeah,
was Night and Day her last movie.
I don't think it's Night and Day. It was something else. Yeah, she's just
Jeez.
you don't realize. You're like, oh yeah, what happened there?
Probably
What happened to Diaz?
living a happy life.
Probably Scientology or something.
It's always Scientology.
Usually
I was at a
is.
bookshop the other day.
Oh yeah.
Whole shelf
Suddenly-
L. Ron Hubbard, like actual sci-fi books and stuff.
Oh, like his
whole
fiction.
shelf just chilling there, and
I'd
I'm
be
like,
interested to read that.
I kind of wanted to.
Yeah, you should.
I could read that.
Wrote more words than anyone else in history.
Really?
Yeah, L. Ron Hubbard.
Jesus.
He wrote more fake stories than anyone else ever had. And then he wrote another story. It was like, this one's true, though. And everyone was like, yep,
I believe
100%.
it. I definitely believe
I
it.
have no reason to believe it. You're Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Have $2 million.
Have $2 million. Let me know if you need any more. I'm very rich and insecure, and I will take any semblance of meaning. Poor fools. Should be like us. Poor and insecure.
It's the best way to live.
It's the best way.
It's the best way to live.
It's the best combo. Did you like this film?
I'm gonna say yes. I
Okay.
did. There are parts like
I
it's
anticipated
not,
you hating this.
It's not funny, and it's not like overly fun, but I did not hate any part of it because everyone in it's really good, and the little stories that are told are quite good.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy Brendan Fraser's
Vignette.
engagement falling apart from one
Yeah.
small thing, and then you get to meet him again several months later, and he's just
Yeah.
not doing so good. I enjoyed the Christopher Lloyd, Steve Buscemi thing. I would watch a whole movie of that.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a really great movie. Just those little bits could be
Yeah.
cool, and I enjoy the principal from Kindergarten Cop just living her life, coming back in every now and then. She's like your
Yeah.
narrator, but I think if you had a more charismatic's the wrong word, but if you had a bigger, like
More charismatic.
a larger than life
How could it be so?
homeless person
Uh-huh.
being there to literally come in all the time because she's very small and
She has a very sort of mythical quality to
does
her.
have mythical, but it's not mythical
the way
enough.
she's dressed.
She's preaching and like everything is fate and like destiny. Her destiny is these lotto numbers.
She
that
felt like she
repeats.
just walked off the set of Willow or something into this, into modern day Minneapolis. Like,
Same costume.
Yeah, just like $20. Chanting some sort of lottery number related incantation.
So at the start of the film,
So you think a more gregarious
I think a more gregarious, like
homeless person?
a homeless person would have made that role more memorable.
Okay.
And therefore would have come like if it was played by. It's hard to pick somebody, but
I am not. I think I am fundamentally not a big fan of the structure.
mhm.
You know,
I would prefer these to be separate stories that we
And-
just watch at a different time.
and even though I love everybody in it,
Mm.
getting some pre-Friends Schwimmer is absolutely delightful. It's so disturbing though
It's
because
also
he has
weird to see pre-French Schwimmer because it's just like he's the same.
he has such a distinctive voice
Mm-hmm.
that is just Ross Geller right there. Yes. And whatever he's in, it's just now Ross Geller in the army, now Ross Geller being a salesman.
Well, I think Band of Brothers is different because it's like he's doing proper acting, and like
Have you seen Friends, Isaac?
no, but I mean
Some of the best
he
acting
is
of our
Ross Geller in
generation.
Friends, and that's a character, and I don't think he acts the same in Band of Brothers. There are moments.
I
where
think he
he's-
plays characters with similar flaws.
I get it.
I think
Get
he's
you.
somewhat. I think he and like in,
He has
in,
a
in
type.
this David Schwimmer's the character David Schwimmer plays is someone that their defining characteristic is that they're insecure.
Yeah.
Either poor or rich doesn't matter. He's insecure, and then you layer different things on top of that. You know, and I think that's something that's a through line. I don't know if that's him in real life or not.
I hope not.
Yeah, I mean maybe. He seemed to be doing okay on British Bake Off when I saw
He was on
clips
British
of that.
Bake Off. That's
Yeah.
adorable.
Yeah,
Was it
and
good?
He made a pastry of some kind, and what's his name? Hollywood, one of the judges.
Mm.
He said it was really good, and you see David Schwimmer was very genuinely emotional about having done well.
Oh,
So
that's nice.
I guess he's
Bake
doing
Off
all
is
right.
just such a chill, lovely time.
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah. People should be happy when they bake.
I'm not.
I think
I
more
hate it.
reality television should just be happy times.
People who say they bake to
Chill out.
recreationally,
I mean, I
can't feel what they're feeling. I can't even
Really?
imagine it. No,
it makes your house smell real good
just-
if you're good at it.
it's just work to me. It's just work.
But have you
All
cooked?
cooking, really.
Oh,
I mean, I like the eating,
yeah.
but it's never worth it.
You don't have like a favorite thing to just make.
No, yeah, because I enjoy the eating, not because I'm like, oh, looking forward to making this thing.
Oh,
No.
That's really sad.
Yeah.
We should make dumplings together.
No.
We should.
Never. I'm going to die without doing that.
What if I invite your wife to our house to make dumplings
Uh-huh.
and you are coming?
Not coming.
You're coming.
She can come over. But I won't be involved.
You'll sit there and drink and frown at everybody from the other side of the room.
I'll be shouting. I'll just be shouting obscenities the whole time. Stop it. Put that down. I hate this.
And then you'll eat them and be like, these are actually quite
you'll be
nice.
like, why
I'm so
you like
glad
this,
you'll,
Sam?
you'll be like, I'm so glad we did this together.
Yeah, like, why aren't they ready? I want to eat the dumplings and I am hungry.
Dumplings do take a while. You have to prepare them.
First of many problems with cooking. Takes time.
It takes time.
Yeah. This is a problem. It's my problem. I don't know what to do about it. Sound off in the comments if you know how I can renegotiate my relationship with food and food preparation.
How did we get on Schwimmer? We
This-
talked about cooking.
We talked about Bake Off. So, yeah, for me, this is a movie with a lot of stuff, most of which is fine but pretty mid, with an excellent 20-minute movie in the middle of it, which I would like to watch a 2-hour version of.
The Christopher Lloyd stuff?
The Christopher Lloyd Steve Buscemi
so
crime
good, so
movie
good.
that they do in the middle of this. I was fully captivated by it. Like, this is excellent. And then it
Started
just stopped.
great. It's like a short film.
Yes.
You could watch that as
That's
a short
a completely
film.
isolated. That never comes out before or after. It's a completely isolated short movie in the middle of this, with incredibly compelling characters and incredibly compelling sort of like spare premise.
And it starts interestingly. It ends interestingly.
Yeah.
It's a cool bit.
And I'm devastated we don't have Steve Buscemi and Christopher Lloyd in their crime caper drama from the early 90s, with Christopher Lloyd playing this just
When we get to that bit, I want to talk about how good.
genteel, icy psychopath.
I know,
He's
but
excellent.
also he's just so chill, so nice.
I
so pleasant.
love watching people commit crimes very efficiently and calmly in films. It's one of my favorite things.
I don't like Anton Chigurh in No Country for Old Men.
I love it.
It's amazing, but it terrifies the fuck out of you. Like, he is scary as shit.
Yeah, and Christopher Lloyd has Sugar, No Country for Old Men energy.
He has that
in
energy,
this.
but I think because of the way that he actually has interpersonal skills and can communicate and like befriend somebody and be calm and be nice.
Yeah.
Whereas Anton Chigurh does not have that. He
No,
is just
he's a more sort
calculated
of
and like
he's
just a facade.
Yeah, there's just nothing behind the eyes with him. Whereas Christopher Lloyd, you just know he's probably like he's just going home to his wife and
Probably
family.
has a wife and family. Probably lives a life.
And because he's a bit older, you feel like he's just done this successfully his whole life, just robbing places.
How cool
And it's like, if you just stay chill about it, you can get away with so much stuff.
I also
Just get to the bus home.
love the idea.
Love it.
The getting the bus home, but also starting with you see someone commit a very small petty crime, and you're like
A con.
a con, some would say,
A confidence trick.
and then you just that's my in. You take that person on a spree,
Yeah.
and just give them the most crazy night of crime imaginable,
Yeah.
and then you just kill them.
Yeah, but he wasn't gonna.
He wasn't planning on it, but like just the idea that he could just do that whole thing. His prints aren't on anything. That guy doesn't know his name. He's just a mystery person. That's just so smart. It's such a good little bit.
Yeah.
20 minutes of this film. But also, when I was watching this, it felt like it went for so long. Because that 20 minutes was so entertaining, and that was like quite short. But the rest of everything else is just like this. It felt draggy.
It's a long 90 minutes because you can't really settle into a cadence with it at any point. But I guess we'll go through the quote-unquote plot. I mean, we've done the best bit already.
And we'll talk about it again when we get there and how great it is.
Yeah. So the film
So the main actor is a $20 bill.
the main character is a piece of money, and it goes through all sorts of things. I wonder if there are rules about that. If you have to make a bunch of fake money for a movie, and they're like, don't
Yeah, they'd have to
Don't
have
spend
someone there to come in and make sure that it's fake enough.
It'd be so hard to make fake money. That's why I don't bother.
That's why all of my movies feature Monopoly money.
I mean, I've got a laminator.
Thanks,
and stuff,
Hasbro.
but- It does mean I unfortunately have to set all my movies in a Monopoly world, which does sort of limit the the genre.
The realism.
Limits the genre. But I mean, every limitation is also a pathway to invention.
Because we can't make fake money, we have to make everything post-apocalyptic. And they just use bottle caps or some shit as their currency.
Yeah, because it isn't possible to make a movie without there being money in it.
This is true.
Because people expect to see it. They're like, I'm going to the movies. Why aren't people holding cash and throwing at each other?
Life has cash. Life needs cash.
Life has cash.
Yeah, cash is just so hygienic.
Good films have those guns that fire money out of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Good films have a fucking suitcase, a briefcase that you open up and there's cash.
And there's
you remember a
cash.
briefcase opening up? It's just a check.
Oh.
Some bank card. Yeah, I've loaded some money onto this.
Yeah.
It's literally a fucking
Just a USB
Westfield gift card.
full of Bitcoin.
A briefcase of Westfield gift cards.
Yeah. No, it's fine. It's a very big shopping center. You can buy anything you want in there.
You could technically buy everything you need
That
at
is
a Westfield
50 grand.
shopping center.
It's Westfield. Everything you need. ... That's their slogan.
If they have a flight center, could you use a Westfield gift card at that flight center?
This is a very good question, Isaac, and we should find out.
But not right now.
Come on, they never do this on Fraser's Edge. Those guys are focused and to the point of giving people good information about the film.
Movie opens.
$20 is a movie.
$20.
It's a film about $20.
A woman and her baby have $20.
Yes, there's an
She
armored
drops
car.
it.
She puts it in an ATM. Then it comes out the ATM. The mum gets it. She drops it. Oh my god! Linda Hunt picks it up and is like a little.
Yeah, some kids try to grab it, but little homeless lady's like, "Fuck you guys! I'm an adult, and fate has chosen me for this
Yeah.
$20 bill."
Little Dickensian street urchin Linda Hunt, 60-year-old street urchin. Linda Hunt gets it, and she's like, yes. And she's immediately on her bullshit. There's
straight
luck
away.
And there's fate. Blah, blah, blah. And then
And she reads the numbers,
kid just takes
and then
it.
it's fucking stolen by another kid.
And I like that one of the first lines in this movie, and nearly one of the last lines is, "You damn motherfucking bitch." I'm glad that Linda Hunt says
That's
that.
a catchphrase, right?
I was
there.
like, okay, we're saying motherfucker in this movie. All right.
That's a catchphrase.
That kid buys a cannoli from a fancy French cake man. This French cake man was doing a lot of acting.
He was doing a bit of acting.
This
yeah.
man's working on his sizzle reel. He knows he's only in this one scene.
He
He's
also makes-
squeezing some juice out of it.
Like he's very good at making that $20 bill dirty, and then it needed to be straight away.
Yeah.
Mm.
He immediately just like dives it into a pile of flour
Yeah,
and stuff.
that's great to cook with, right? Just
I wouldn't know.
every time you get
wouldn't know,
money at
Isaac.
your bakery, just rub it on the fucking bench,
Well,
and
it's-
then keep cooking.
It's fresh from an ATM, Isaac. You could eat that.
He doesn't know that. He got it from some
He
kid.
could probably tell.
Some kid.
Yeah. Some street child.
But yeah, so he's doing acting. He's just made a wedding cake for a woman and her father who've come in to purchase the wedding cake.
They come in.
It's got the wrong stuff on it. Oh
They're
no!
like the wrong little people on the top.
So he throws them.
Just
You'll
pegs
never see them again.
Yeah, smashes something, gives them the 20th chain.
I loved his. Oh, I've made a mistake, but it's $300 more for these things. It's fine. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, I mean it's clearly a very expensive cake, regardless.
Yeah, but that guy pays in cash, so
Yeah.
that he gives him change, and he gives this clean cut rich man a fucking flowery $20 bill.
Yeah, with like a handful of flour
He's
after.
like,
It's like there's some flour
there
for
you
your
go,
trouble.
bud. You
Yeah.
can use that if you want.
There's some flour. I'm a chef, as you can tell. But then we get Brendan Fraser, minute 5 minutes
straight
into the
in,
movie,
straight in.
playing Sam Mastruski.
What a name.
What is that? Polish? Doesn't matter.
It doesn't change the film whatsoever.
I want to know the ancestry of every Brendan Fraser character.
So Sam is getting married to the girl who was at the
To
bakery.
the fancy girl. And I like this Brendan Fraser.
I like this story that he has here with
Yeah.
like his
Backwards cap.
He's a cool guy.
Sleeveless flannelette shirt.
He works he's working in freight and logistics.
He's just a blue-collar guy moving shit around.
And it's made quite clear from the get-go that he got a job here, started just banging the boss's daughter, and now they're like getting married and it's lovely and the boss has accepted him.
That's
and he's
the
like,
dream.
Oh, dude.
You'll never be insecure again.
Nah, that's like
Yeah.
that's like Mills and Boone type.
Why haven't you
awesome
ever done
stories
that?
and
You
stuff.
keep getting different jobs.
None of my bosses have daughters.
Well,
Damn.
you need to start trying to find a way to bring that up in the interview.
This is true.
Do you have any questions for us?
I do actually.
Do you guys have any
How's your
family
how's your
photos?
home life
Any family photo? That photo on your desk. Can you just flip that around? Just flip that around for a sec. Let's flip it around. A dog. Well, I'm not marrying that.
Who's that?
Who's that?
Who's that?
They tragically died when?
It's not really my type. It's fine.
You know what?
It's fine.
I'm out of here.
Thanks for the opportunity.
It's okay. I never even passed the bar, so I don't know. It's in your interest and mine
I'd
that
be
I
a
just
fake
go.
lawyer anyway, so.
Brendan and his mate. Introduce them. They're loading crates. They're moving
just
stuff
having
around.
sweet- I love that guy's beard.
Yeah.
Just a big beard.
I'm like, what are you being questioned? But in Law and Order with all these crates you're unloading. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I like that
John
they
Mulaney
keep
bit.
working.
Yeah.
Whilst having because they're not just they're not blue collar. They're just not going to sit around and not do anything.
They're not
They're doing their
layabouts.
fucking jobs.
Yeah.
They're earning their pay.
Yeah. Well, that's what real people do with real jobs.
It is.
Not this kind of shit.
It's proper acting.
Yeah. They're real actors playing real guys with real jobs.
That evening,
that's
they
the
are
strength of
having
this movie.
a big dinner.
Yeah, they go to like
with
the Get Out house.
The fiance's family are there.
Mm-hmm.
Brendan's family and friends are there, and they're singing some weird song to the tune of.
I didn't get this bit.
Yeah,
I think
they
I
were
zoned
singing a
out for
song, but it's
minute.
to a tune of something else.
Everyone's getting along.
Everyone's having a great time.
Everything
Both
seems
families
nice.
seem to be like gelling really lovely.
Yeah, and you would anticipate there to be some difficulty to be bridging what is presumably some sort of class divide.
Yeah,
between
like a
Brendan's
cultural
family.
bridge.
Cultural and class, because the fiance, her dad came over from Saudi Arabia, so they're like an Arabic family, but they're a rich Arabic family. And then we've got the Mastruskis. Who knows where they're from?
They're just a bunch
just
of
the general swill of America, just Midwest. Just
General swill.
who knows what's been mixed in there over the years.
So
Aha.
the lower
but they all
class
get along
folks
fine.
are having a lovely time with the upper class folks,
They're
and
bit-
it's beautiful.
They're bibbidi-boppity.
And then the father-in-law
It's the rehearsal dinner.
gives a nice speech, a rehearsal dinner, which
Yeah.
is
You never see much rehearsing at these things. I didn't have one for my wedding because I don't understand what it is.
well, I think it's just like traditionally you're supposed to do a run through of the ceremony and then just have dinner.
Yeah, but they never show the run through.
No, why
always-
would you? You're gonna see it the next day.
I guess.
You can't show the rehearsal on film.
I want to see everything. I like everything to be in real time.
He does a nice little speech about him coming here and getting gum, because that's how you become an American, is you chew gum, because he watched it in a movie.
And then he got a $20 bill, and it was a big deal.
Yeah, because
He's like, now this is America to me. America is money. You know, which
still is.
to some, I mean, you know, that's a claim you can make. And he's like, now to make you feel the same sense of optimism and joy I felt at that time in my life, centered around immigration and money,
I'm gonna give you $20.
I'm giving you $20 as your wedding present.
Think of it as your wedding gift.
Now, and no one is impressed by this at all. Like, he's clearly doing a bit.
He's clearly at a point in the speech where he's like ready to say the next bit to like send Sam, Brendan Fraser, on his way into marriage with his daughter and start their lives off right. He's ready to finish his speech, which is then cut off and interrupted by some young men who then kidnap the groom and take him off to his
For his bachelor's.
bachelor party.
Bachelor
for his
party.
very well planned out bachelor party.
See,
But like, it felt to me that the speech should not ended. He'd reached a point where he's pausing for effect, and he's giving this as $20. He's like, you're going to start, and then you're like, oh, if this ends now, this is going to be a weird speech.
But like, everyone's annoyed that he's only giving him $20 as a wedding present. But I thought, well, he's the father of the bride, and he's rich, so surely he's paying for most of this wedding.
You would assume
anyway.
Yeah. Well, they've just bought this really expensive cake
and asking. Yeah, I mean, the cake, the little people on the top of the cake alone. So, I mean, don't worry about that.
The cake's like $50, but those people are like $300.
That's the best part of the cake.
The bit you can't eat.
Yeah. So I don't really understand why everyone was so upset,
awkward
by that,
about the whole
and
situation.
I don't really understand what it is about this speech that throws Sam Mastruski through such a loop.
I think it's the fact that he gives him $20 and says, think of it as your wedding present. And we're supposed to believe that this young man, who clearly knows how wealthy the family he's marrying into is, would then be like, what? That's fucking bullshit.
But he seems...
He seems so put down.
Yeah, but and I'm not sure why. I think it's something like the father has portrayed his own life as having this very sort of singular vision and linear arc towards success. That he wanted to come to America, he did it, and this is how like older rich people always portray their story.
Oh, gotcha.
And because they knew what they wanted and they went after it with aggression and discipline, they've been able to build this empire of crates or whatever it is that they do, mostly of moving shit around, professional moving shit around, which important job, shit has to move, and maybe Sam Mastruski kind of doesn't know what he wants to do in life, and so he feels like he's been passed a baton in the form of this $20 bill, and he doesn't know what to do about it. But he also seems to be just sort of rejecting the whole premise as well. I don't really know. It's just a little bit unresolved. Although I think I've a pretty good description of it.
It is a very good description.
Thank you, Isaac. It's very nice of you to say. You didn't have to say that.
I kind of think, though, it is literally just he's disappointed to be given $20 as a wedding gift. Like, I don't think they think
I hope it's more. But at the end, when he's at the airport, he says, your speech threw me through a loop.
Yeah, they do have a nice thing. So
and he's going to Spain and everything.
And I like that he comes back at the end, just has a chat with the dad, not the
he's
fiance.
He's in it a couple of times, yeah. Because that's the real relationship that needs to be resolved.
Yeah, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Fiance there's not much to her as a character.
This guy, he's working for him and respects this person who is just a low in the chain.
A lowly, just non-Arabic guy.
Just doing the job,
moving those crates,
dating your
baby.
daughter, but you get respect for this person after you've met him, and I think that's really, really you don't get to see that in films quite often. Most of the time, the father would be very unapproving of Sam.
Someone in a position of power being nice, I guess, doesn't lead to much conflict for your story. So that's probably why that doesn't turn up so much. Like, what if people were nice? That's why Dumbledore is lodged so much in everyone's hearts.
Because he's so horrific towards Harry.
Well, yeah, but I guess before that, there's the veneer of niceness. And
there is the veneer of niceness. The veneer of niceness.
What if someone in power was nice? And so then he goes to the worst bachelor party in the world.
It's literally just his mate's place.
They're just sitting around. They seem to already be smashed, lying on the floor. There's no music playing.
Yeah, that's what I thought was very strange.
Dead silent. And there was just no vibe in this room at all.
Well, I think they're just not fun people. This is their regular Friday night. This is what they do on a Friday night.
Brendan,
just sit around and play cards in silence.
More fun friends, please, because these guys are the worst.
One of them's
big guy with beard brings a stripper.
Organized a stripper, and she comes in and gets ready, and she does her dance.
Yeah, played by Melora Walters. And this stripper, does very good with a situation, in a very difficult situation. So I was like,
she walks into a very awkward small room.
This room was already awkward when it was just the boys. And that, so that's a standing start for this to not be just a horrible experience. And so she I mean, as a stripper, you don't want to have to start the party yourself when you get there. The party should be rolling, and you're the icing on the cake, as it were. And you dip in, you dip out.
Yeah, she throws a couple of scarves over some lamps, puts
Yeah.
the music on,
Put some fucking music on,
and fucking does her job.
Changes up the lighting. It's like, okay, let's let's get some movement in the room. You know what I'm saying? Never understood the appeal.
Yeah, me
personally.
neither. But
Absolutely not.
she does a great job, and they all seem to be having a great time. A lot of them comment very verbally about
How erect they are.
about how much of a good time they're having.
And that really speaks to the core issue for me with
This is
strippers in any
fun.
context, whether strip club or in one's own house.
How much talking you're supposed to do?
It's not a question of how.
Who talks first? You talk first. I talk.
It's not a question of how arousing it may or may not be. It's if it's to any degree arousing, I don't want that to be happening when I'm with my boys.
Yeah.
This is not a group activity. And I know for some guys apparently it is. And that's like a normal and chill thing to do.
Yeah. I don't
Like
wanna
watching
know.
porn together.
Mm.
That's something I only know about because I see characters do it on television. That as an option would never have.
I like to believe that dudes don't do that.
Is this just a myth that's been generated through film and
I
television?
think we're supposed to believe that dudes do it, but I don't think they do.
Because
I've never met a dude who
to me, it's the same thing.
Yeah, we could watch porn together.
Yeah. What are you doing later?
Well, I think
Do you want to do something normal
when
and cool?
a film makes like teenagers do it, that makes more sense because
there's a degree of prurient interest.
Yeah.
And
kids can only be brave when they're together. Like,
and you got to be pretty brave to.
you got to be
watch
brave
something.
to search for something illegal on your computer. You're not allowed to.
Oh,
watch that.
search. Yeah, I thought we were talking about more like you find a VHS.
Oh, that's also quite funny. That leads to some comedic elements in your films.
Yeah, and there's just lots of shits
My
of
dad's bed.
and the teenager's eyes was like going whoa, and there's like oh.
And then there's always that one kid's like yuck
Yeah,
because he wasn't ready.
and that's our discussion of children watching pornography. So. Don't have that, do you, Fraser's Edge? But that never came up for
Yeah.
you. But
You
you
and
never
me.
even thought to talk about.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have talked about it. Not
So
saying-
they have an
not-
awkward.
yeah.
They have an awkward party.
They have an awkward
Brendan
party.
Fraser ends up giving the $20 to the stripper.
Yeah, he finally has a good time for 1 second of his life and pays for it with everything that he cares about.
And then knock on the door. It's the fiance. They
Yeah.
hide the stripper in the bathroom instead of just
Yeah.
giving her a jacket and say, "Can you just pretend to be his girlfriend for a moment?" And just one of his
Yeah.
mates could just have his girlfriend there,
Nice.
and that just gets that whole situation. There's no awkwardness now.
Yep. I think there were so many ways out of this situation.
So many ways,
Um,
or even just like,
say,
"Hey, the boys bought a stripper."
Yeah, I had nothing to do with it, obviously. I don't even like boobs. Why would I ever do
No,
this?
I've never touched yours or seen them.
I've
obviously.
never touched yours. I'm not even attracted to women. Why would I want a stripper here? Oh, the $20 note. Oh, I left it at home. Oh, I must have tragically dropped it. Oh, I gave it to a homeless person. There's this little elf woman who was outside.
I bought a couple of beers on the way over here.
Bought a couple of beers because there's nothing more American than beer, and I thought that would be a useful way to spend it.
Anything.
I spent it on heroin because that's also a big American tradition. Just anything.
There are options.
There's options. And what you don't do is just let the truth come out.
Yeah, I gave the $20 away. I don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
And then the stripper comes
I
in.
ate
She's
it.
like, "You can have this back."
That was a dog move on her part, though.
I
I'm
loved
like,
it.
After doing so well at the start, read the room. Because the stripper tries to climb out the window. Instead of just like waiting as well. She really fucks this up. Just like wait in the bathroom for a minute. You're still on the clock. This all counts. Instead, she like tries to get out onto the fire escape and then comes back in.
One of the dudes asks her to go out onto the fire escape.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Yeah,
well,
she goes, "The fire
it's
escape will cost
get
you an
out of
extra
here.
50.
The fiance's definitely going to need to piss in a second. You got to get out of the bath. Just climb into the shower and close the curtain.
Mm,
Euphoria style.
haven't seen it,
Yeah, that's all right.
so I've heard.
On the subject of no, I won't make this any weirder.
So the
was gonna
fiance
say-
finds out that there's been a stripper and he doesn't have the
Okay.
$20 bill anymore.
We'll just move on.
We are going to move on. And she's very upset that he gave away the $20. And he's like, we could just get another one and frame it, and it'd still mean the same thing.
Yeah, and no.
And she's like, I'm not going to lie to my father.
Yeah, so, and I mean, this sounds like a relationship that's doomed from the start, frankly, because they are not on the same page about any of this stuff.
No.
And yeah, just lie to your dad a little bit.
Yeah.
We've all done that. My dad thinks I'm in the Navy.
Nice. Oh, that's what the uniform's for.
Yeah,
I thought you had a second job, Sam.
No, I have to keep taking photos down by the beach in different poses.
At different times of the day, so you can
and
be
make
like, yes,
and
I'm
make
totally
fake
in Hawaii.
overseas stamps to post them to him from.
No, you send things from here elsewhere, and then get the stamp and just return to sender, so that you can.
Yeah. Okay.
send
Yeah.
it
Yeah. I'll do that.
Yeah.
He thinks I've got scurvy.
So the stripper then has the $20.
Also, what's the fiance doing at the bachelor party?
I don't know.
Massive faux pas to begin with, quite
Yeah,
frankly.
how'd you find us? Oh, this chick told me.
You know it's the bachelor party. What are you doing in there? So I'm not.
It's the 90s, man.
I'm not
It's a
liking
different
that.
time. All right. And
not
she's
that
also not
different.
ready to trust him. She came
You know,
there
that's what's-
expecting for there to be a
That's
stripper,
the real
so she'd
question.
get angry.
If I was him, I wouldn't even answer any questions about the money. I'd be like, "What are you doing here?
Why are
Is this
you
because you
here?
don't trust me?
Why are you
don't
here?
you
We've already
realize?"
got a stripper.
Yeah. Yeah. Flip the script. Flip the script on it. Come on, we've only got one stripper.
The fiance turns up with a stripper.
None of us are even
I
on
got
cocaine.
you guys a present.
This is an incredibly tame bachelor party,
It is very tame.
which is just
I
as well.
enjoy
'cause
that their way of like pretending. They were just like over at the table playing cards.
immediately playing cards, they like hit the radio and it just immediately switches to slow jazz, which I liked. I'm like, why didn't you have that on before? Like, yeah, this is my Blue Miles themed bachelor party. It's where we sit around and recreate different Edward Hopper paintings. Anyway, what happens to
$20
the
bill is with the stripper now.
So the stripper has it. She goes to what I guess is like an apothecary.
Yeah, she goes
This
to
woman,
a woman
McCormick,
selling potions
and buys like richness oil to put in your bath to help her get rich.
to help her get success.
See the theme: money, richness. It's not really though, because
It's not.
one of my overall problems with this is it's following the $20 bill, but the story really there's more of a theme of like dads, the theme of fatherhood across a few different stories.
The theme of struggling for
and, like,
success is part of it.
Struggling for success.
Because everybody you meet is struggling to do what they want to do. Like
I
to
guess
get,
success.
To get their, like Elizabeth Shue wants to be a writer. David Schwimmer wants to be successful in his pyramid scheme. Everyone wants to have what they want to have. Sam doesn't know what he wants.
Yeah.
Which is also part of it. So, like, there is that theme. Everyone, like, both the criminals just want money.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know
Steve
if like
Buscemi's happy to do like little things to like be under the radar and get enough to just get by. But then Christopher Lloyd's like, nah, bro, you can get more than that, bro.
Yeah, I think
Because that's how he talks.
Yeah.
Famously.
famous Eshe Christopher Lloyd. Eshe is a word used disparagingly for some people in Australia.
Is it just Australia?
Yeah, bruh. Eshe, bruh.
It irks me.
No one's saying Eshe anywhere else.
I've never heard it in public.
No.
But I've heard it on the internet a lot.
Yeah, well, it came from the public.
Good.
It's organic. It's an organic creation. Yeah, I don't know if like people want things and sometimes those things are different things is like a specific enough theme to really tie the movie together. Like, yeah, everyone wants to succeed. People have different ideas of what success is. Sure. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's enough. And the idea is this $20 bill is present throughout the movie. But
and every time you see that specific $20 bill, the music goes bling,
yeah, like it's
bling. It's a magic $20 bill.
Yes.
It's sentient.
Well, it's not really, because not many of the things that happen are concretely because of the $20 bill.
No, people
just
use the $20. They receive it as change for transactions, not necessarily to use for transactions.
So I'm worried that in the form of this $20 bill, we have a fairly passive protagonist. The $20 bill needs to be doing more.
The $20 bill needs to be haunted.
Because I would have thought, yeah,
And everybody who touches
the curse of the
dies.
$20 bill Yep, that'd be great.
That would be great.
Something like that. Like everyone who touches the $20 bill gets Final Destination.
I watched Smile.
Oh, yeah?
It was okay.
Okay.
But again, it could be like that, where the $20 bill gives a curse to somebody.
Yeah,
every
but
time
we
you use
turn
it.
everything into a horror movie.
Yeah, because everything should be a horror
Everything
movie.
should be
Yeah,
horror, baby.
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I hate us.
Yeah, that's a good... Yeah, let's start doing Eshe talk on the podcast. That'll
Baby.
broaden the reach. That's what we've been missing. Fuck.
You just said baby. I'm behind it.
I say that a lot.
I'm about it.
Yeah, I think because like if it's something written in 1935 or whatever, the idea was the ways different people respond to a $20 bill. And I think that
And in 1935,
lots of things in this, people aren't really responding to it. There's bits of it, obviously, you know, a little Reaper Cheap homeless woman, she cares about it.
I think,
And then
if they-
other people don't care about it. One woman just snorts cocaine with it, etc. The kid is excited to get it so he can buy wine.
in the 90s, I think the people who would look at a $20 bill that aren't just homeless Edna Mode
Nice.
and be wowed would be children. Because kids see $10 and $20 and they'd be like, oh my God, this buys so much stuff.
Yeah.
Because all kids care about is like candy or things that cost you like 10 cents.
Kids,
In the 90s.
they want to care about candy, don't they? And video games, probably.
And video game. And like
And
going to an arcade.
Going to an arcade.
Things that would be like really enjoyable for kids. But
Riding
we
your bikes
don't get
down
to
by the
see
creek.
The kids' wow factor from getting a $20. Because the kid who gets it is late teens, wants alcohol. Like it's not...
He's still pretty excited.
He's still very excited, but it's not
Hides
like
it in
$20 is so much. Whereas if it was a 1930s film, $20 would affect so many people in such a different way.
Yeah. They'd be like, by golly, bajippers.
If it was like, if this movie was about $100 bill
Oh, McCorkle,
or
they'd
something
say.
bigger, maybe they would say they'd rock their McCorkles off.
Yeah. Yeah, so the title of this film should be, 20 Bitcoin.
Oh, McCorkle, the one Bitcoin NFT.
Yeah. Now no one knows what it's worth. Yeah, it's an NFT of a $20 bill. And gets rich in the soil. So then the apothecary woman goes to the diner, and now we start the good movie. Steve Buscemi comes. So she mails a $20 bill to her grandson.
Yes.
We've now left the bill. Steve Buscemi, I didn't really get the con he did. I didn't follow it closely enough.
He uses
He gets like
$10
$10
bill. Or he uses a $10 bill to buy a coffee, and then gets his $10 bill back somehow. So he spends like 25 cents each time, but he makes $9.25 because he gets an extra $10 bill back through his con.
Right, okay.
So he just makes every con. He's making $9.
Hey.
Which is a subtle way to do that. Like if you do that 18 times a day,
18 coffee shops, you're really grinding. You've earned that money.
yeah,
That's not
he's making minimum wage.
It's just less than minimum wage.
Well, in the 90s, that's minimum wage.
I guess, yeah, it's probably something like $7 then. But if you, for me, if you're a criminal and you're making minimum wage, you're like, I gotta do different crimes.
You could do no crimes and
I'm
be
just
paid
gonna
more.
get a normal job and not worry about this stuff so much.
But you're free though. If you're just doing
You're
little
free.
cons,
You're outside the
it's the
system.
freedom,
Yeah, yeah.
And Christopher Lloyd notices Steve Buscemi do this.
But you got no annual leave, no sick pay.
This is true. You've got to work every day of your life.
You're self-employed.
Are you really free?
If you're self-employed, you never clock off.
No.
If you're
You're never free.
If you're a small-time
If you
con
own your
artist,
own business, you're never free.
you're never free of it, mate.
Christopher Lloyd you just sees him. At first, I thought Christopher Lloyd was going to end up being a cop
Yeah, that's where you
because he
think
gets
it's
that
going.
vibe straight away. Like,
Yeah.
mate, you could do better than this. Just trying to
Yeah.
like entrap this dude into doing a bigger crime. Like, well,
Yeah. He's like, you are. It's dumb the way you're doing this, and you should do bigger and better crimes.
fucking Training Days it.
He
Gets
does-
away with all these crimes, but then arrests him at the end. That'd be amazing.
It is. It's got a lot of Training Day elements. Their little relationship, and
So yeah, he says, you could do better than this. Meet me here tomorrow night, and we'll go do some crimes together.
yeah, I said I wanna help you maximize your profit potential.
I think my only thing that would make this entire story better is if Christopher Lloyd's character remained unnamed, but his name is Jimmy. He's credited as Jimmy.
But is it though? That's probably just a name he gave.
Could be.
You know.
I really like if this was a feature film.
Yeah.
The Christopher Lloyd character would remain unnamed for the entire thing, who can just disappear off into the distance.
We should explain what it actually is that happens.
In the film, he takes Steve Buscemi on a night out.
Yeah.
On a wonderful night of frivolity.
And they hit two convenience stores.
I think they hit more than 2, but we are shown 2.
Yeah. And it's just very simple. Walk up to the counter, take your gun out, put the money in the bag. Thank you very much.
Be pleasant. They leave.
Yeah,
They're
and it's
not,
like you got to dress nice.
Yelling.
Because if you dressed well, people remember the clothes and not your face. Love that line. Yeah. And
he's got some good advice.
Steve Buscemi, who's just high on crime.
Yeah,
he's
like what? We can't finish now.
I've never felt this.
They've got
good
like
in my life.
$5,000 of an evening. He's like, nah, man. We can do more.
Yeah,
like, nah, dude, chill out.
And so the $20 bill ended up with that woman's grandson who wants to buy. And I like this grandson character.
Me too. I like that he's cooking himself a birthday dinner and his girlfriend's going to come over.
Yeah, he's a teenager who clearly likes the finer things in life.
Yeah, it's cool.
And he's like cooking a special meal. He's like, we need 2 bottles of white wine, Sauv Blanc, please, if you possibly can. So he gets a $20 bill and they're trying to get people to buy them alcohol in this convenience store.
Yeah, because his girlfriend couldn't get it from the liquor cabinet at home because her dad locked it.
Damn it.
Oh, man.
And then...
just forces him to go to the bottle shop.
Yeah, you're just pushing them further into criminality by let teenagers drink, please.
So they come to the thing, and Steve Buscemi's...
They get to the convenience store. This is the third one. So this is the one that Steve Buscemi wants to do, and Christopher Lloyd
the third one we're shown. And Steve Buscemi's high, so Christopher Lloyd just lets him go in too.
Yeah,
he doesn't
weird
fight
how much
him.
he
He's like, why are we here? No, that's enough, right?
Yeah.
But Steve Buscemi's like, no.
Because Christopher Lloyd knows there's no point going into this one because there's no money in it. Because every 45 minutes or whatever, they have to put all the money into one of those suction tubes.
And it goes to the back of the shop, so there is money at the shop, but
there's no way you're getting to it in the time they have. And Steve Buscemi loses it. He like shoots the register with his shotgun.
Oh, so cool.
Christopher Lloyd's like, I'm very sorry for my friend. You must accept my apologies.
At this point, Christopher Lloyd has stopped the kids from going in, and the kids have gone, can you buy us alcohol? He's like, okay, what would you like? White wine. Okay. And he goes in, and then he's super pleasant and calm. He's like trying to calm Steve Buscemi down. Eventually, he convinces him to give up. They come out. Christopher Lloyd gets a bottle of champagne, gives it to the kids instead. And then they get back in the car, and they're just dividing up the money. Oh, so they have to run away from the cops. So the police are coming. He can't start the car. That's so cool.
Christopher Lloyd doesn't bat an eye. He's like, just wait a minute. And then the cop, you can hear the sirens getting close. He's like, okay, try it now. Off they go.
So cool.
Pull into a used car dealership.
Also smart as fuck.
Genius. There'd probably be a barrier on the driveway, but still, great idea. Love it.
Aesthetically, it's very cool.
Aesthetically, it's great. And he's still going to let Steve get away with it. He's like, okay, let's divide up the money. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
But it is because of the $20 bill that the kid gave him that is in his pocket. That's sort of the final straw that makes Steve Buscemi. Yeah, Steve Buscemi sees the $20 bill in... It's because Christopher Lloyd tells him, which he didn't really have to do, that we're not going to do this again. I just needed you for your car. So no one sees my license plate. And so Steve Buscemi feels kind of used. But Christopher Lloyd is still going to divide the cash nicely. He's being calm about the whole situation. Yeah. And then Steve Buscemi's like, nah, bruv, I'm going to take all of it. Yeah, because he feels like an idiot. Because he is an idiot. Because he's really fucked up this whole situation. He's the stooge. Yeah. He's realizing he's the stooge, and he tries to stooge his way out of it, and Christopher Lloyd just shoots him immediately. Life lesson number 3. Quit while you're ahead. Steve Buscemi fully dies. I would have liked Christopher Lloyd to shoot him intentionally in a non-fatal way. So he gets arrested, but has no proof. Yeah, so just shoots him in the abdomen so he can get away, and then Steve Buscemi just gets arrested at a certain point. But yeah, loved all that. So tense, so well paced. Yeah, and then Christopher Lloyd just short story. Money in the paper bag, gets out of the car, walks 3 meters to the bus stop, gets on a bus and takes off. Out of there. If the 2-hour Christopher Lloyd version, is it 2 hours about his relationship with one other or burglar
or
or
several.
yeah. And so we just follow this psychopath protagonist, sort of Nightcrawler style, and see him
But
just
he'd
like
have to have.
see him just cycle
he'd
through.
do the regular thing one day, like, and cycle and get rid of that accomplice,
Yeah.
and like move on to the next one. But he has to have different things that he does. Like one night he's just with a guy robbing convenience stores, and like he just disappears into the crowd again. The next week, or however much later he needs,
Stealing animals from SeaWorld.
doing something else. Yeah,
Scooping out jellyfish with a big net or
Yeah,
something.
and always kills him.
Yeah. Doesn't make any money out of that. That's just for the thrill.
But I think
To know you've
have
wiped out a species.
You have your through line of a detective trying to find him.
Yes, I think that's the thing. I think have him set up like the protect, and so then the challenge for the detective is linking together these disparate crimes.
Yeah, because you would have no idea. Just you know that all these people seem to die, and nobody knows who the second person was on this one. This bank robbery people had another guy there for some reason, but we never caught him. All the others are dead.
And the detective has to piece together this insane theory of there's this just shadow man who just lives in the suburbs like a Walter White.
I know. It's just cool.
Trying to fit in, like he's out there hiding in plain sight somewhere. And yeah, you get like one frame off a CCTV camera and stuff. And yeah, that'd be great.
It would be very
But
cool.
you've enjoyed...
But like do it subtly where... Like,
of course, Isaac, if we're making a film, it's going to be subtle as all hell.
When he's at the crime scenes anywhere, he's just standing in a position where there's a poster in front of him where the camera can't see all of his face.
Yeah,
but
he
you
just
don't
knows.
show him ever looking at the camera to clock it to make sure where he stands. He's already just knows.
Yeah.
He's there. It's a fucking thing, man.
That'd be a great movie.
It would be a great movie. Too bad it's been done in 20 minutes of this film and you can't make that movie now.
Well, no, we're doing a remake of $20.
Just inspired by this 20 minutes.
Call
of
it $20. Yeah, call it 20 minutes of $20.
Man, I just love,
And I think,
love
and I
him
just
like sinking back into the shadow.
because the protagonist and the criminal, you'd enjoy watching him so much. You don't want him to get caught because he's so compelling to watch. But then you
I also don't want him to kill any innocent people for the entire film. The only people he kills are his accomplices.
yeah. But I do like how he shoots the woman in the shoulder.
Yes,
Non.
he's good enough
wounding.
to shoot someone and not kill them.
Yeah,
So he's the bad guy.
yeah.
But he's like, ooh.
Well, he's the guy who can do anything. So the $20 bill goes into evidence and is received
We
by
meet
William H. Macy.
who I saw in like, because I watched it on Amazon Prime, they give you like the IMDb trivia and shit.
Oh, yeah.
While you're watching it. William H. Macy auditioned for Steve Buscemi's role.
Oh, that would have been good.
It would have been great. And actually, William H. Macy would make a great Christopher Lloyd.
I was just thinking that.
That would be cool.
Yes, perfect age and energy. What happens?
So
Actors who are like Christopher Lloyd now. Should ask ChatGPT.
ChatGPT knows everything. Or at least can fake it.
Yeah, that's not going to get me anywhere. I knew it wasn't.
I wouldn't think so. So $20 gets put into evidence. I like the line, is this all that guy had on him? He was like, well, technically, but my mate over here got himself a $60 jacket. Because he's just a watch, keys, and a $20 bill. And then someone just took his jacket. Which I think is a very cool little line. So some cop just kept a jacket.
Just took the blood-stained bullet hole jacket.
Well, I think he got shot in the gut, and he was wearing his nice $60 leather jacket.
That's 3 times $20.
It is.
That's some math for you. And I like that William H. Macy has the sign on his desk that says the buck stops here.
Yeah.
If only.
It doesn't.
If only. Cut to more Brendan Fraser
Holy shit.
delivering some boxes to David Schwimmer. And he's a young entrepreneur who's selling like worrying head ointment.
Yeah, he's literally selling uselessness.
It's like it's something you rub on your head and it makes you worry less, but also brings your hair back. It does whatever you want it to do.
I think what it is...
It's the Scientology
is a
of head
hair growth
ointments.
thing, and it stops you worrying. Or if you worry, rub this in so you won't lose your hair. So it's just
But
water.
if
It's flavored water.
It's just water. It's
flavored
flavored
water.
water that you can't taste, and it's like if you're worrying, at least you won't have to worry about losing your hair, and also if you, but if you're not losing your hair and you are worrying, still use this.
Because otherwise you might lose your hair because you're worrying.
Yeah, because worrying causes hair loss, and hair loss causes worrying, and it's a real vicious cycle. Yeah. This is the modern man's dilemma.
I love the little funeral scene later where he's just like viciously describing this
at the
to a
wake.
bald guy in the background.
You seem like a smart guy. You look like a handsome guy.
You had hair, right?
Oh yeah. Did you?
You used to have hair.
Or have you just been like baby the whole time? You've been baby mode the whole time? There was a hair period, right? Yeah, I thought there
you
was.
don't have alopecia, right? You're just bald.
No, right. Because you have eyebrows, right? You didn't draw those on? They're not fake eyebrows? Because if they are, just put a wig on. You know what I mean?
We could tattoo a nice wig on you.
If you want.
Have you ever thought about a spiderweb tattoo on your entire scalp?
Have you ever thought about it? No? Good. That means I know you're the kind of guy
who
wants head ointment. David
Schwimmer
and his girlfriend Emily, Elizabeth Shue, they go to the police station.
Was seen in the film earlier as
was she?
the waitress at the diner that the old lady gave the. Well, that's how Steve Buscemi got his $10 back.
Oh, right, okay.
Elizabeth Shue is the waitress there.
Oh, gosh, like an episode of Lost.
It is. Everyone's everywhere.
Everyone's everywhere all the time. They go to the police station. So they got robbed, and they're getting their stuff back from the police, basically.
Yes.
Whatever. And the 20 just falls into their box of stuff. So a very loosey-goosey evidence room they got going on. I guess they're wearing the clothes of dead people. These cops are pretty chill.
Yeah, the cops seem to be very lax
I'm
about.
very amazed these guys are getting any of their robbed stuff back from these particular cops.
Well, William H. Macy goes, most people who get robbed stay robbed.
Yeah,
But you're
because what are we
getting
going to
your
do
stuff
about
back,
it?
Cool.
Here's a box of your stuff. Unfortunately, we only found the less valuable things. Somehow, all the valuable stuff disappeared in the process. I couldn't tell you why.
I do enjoy that.
But I'll tell you what, the buck stops here. I'll tell you
This
that
is
much.
your radio. Oh, but it's my cassette that's in your radio.
Yeah, can I grab
I'm
that?
sorry that we were using your radio.
But ours is broken.
What's yours is ours, and what's ours is still ours.
I mean, are we or are we not a community? Like, okay, we're going. William H. Macy. So she wants to be an author. She's got a story published in the paper.
Oh, so cool. She's on her way.
And David Schwimmer, there's a lot of Ross energy coming off his character.
He's very proud of her.
But he's like, he's doing that Ross. Emma and I have been talking a lot about Ross lately because we're still, we're on our constant friend cycle.
Uh-huh.
And to what degree he is a terrible person or not.
There's a slope.
And he gets crazier in the later seasons, I maintain, because they kind of had to do that. That was their tactic to keep it being funny, I think, was him to become a more sort of mad person. In the earlier seasons, where Ross is more of just a normal guy, he's a very flawed person, but I maintain that I think his flaws are still within the realm of a kind of normal and overall good person.
I don't think in the earlier seasons, I don't think any of his flaws make him a bad person in any way.
No.
Like, he does stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And
he's like a hard person to be in a relationship with.
He's a hard person to be around.
He is very insecure.
Yeah.
But I think he also has many episodes where he is insecure about something or he does something wrong and he's able to reflect on it and he has insight into it and he apologizes for it. And he's trying to do the right thing and he's trying to be better. And I think that aspect of Ross gets forgotten about a little bit.
I think it does.
And I think, let's just go easy. Those are the countercultural takes you can expect from me. Ross Geller is okay, actually. Or he's not, but none of us are.
The true villain is Gunther.
Yeah.
Actually, he's
pulling the
creepy as
strings.
fuck.
Yeah, what's going on with that guy?
He's very creepy.
Yeah. And so her dad is, and so they go to see his parents. Oh yeah, so we're saying
parents.
David Schwimmer's character is very insecure. He's like, asks if the story is about him, and because the story is not about him, he's like, oh, you don't even take me seriously, do you? Like, we're not talking about you.
This is not your bit yet.
2 seconds ago, we were just talking about her getting her first story published. Can we stay on that for 1 second, Ross?
And so they go home to drop a copy off for her mum. But the parents are home.
Unfortunately, Dad is there, and Dad is terrible.
Her mum is very proud of her, and then her dad just berates the fuck out of her.
And he's like, writing is shit, writing is nothing, what are you even doing?
Yeah.
It's embarrassing that you're even trying to do this,
We sent you to
basically.
college and knew you were trying to do this, but I've always thought it was a waste of my fucking time.
Yeah. Fuck you. I hate you. Everything about you is invalid.
You were an accident.
I'm your dad. Fuck off. So that's that scene.
That's literally that scene.
So like a lot of those bits, like it's not very subtle. I found this story very basic. Like
that her dad was also a
Dad
writer.
is mean, and then we find out Dad also wanted to be a writer. Oh my god, how sad!
I love I don't love it.
Like,
It's quite sad, but I enjoy the way they do his death.
Hilarious.
Yes.
So let's go a little bit chronologically.
Yeah.
They drive off. The 20 flies out of their car. Some random family picks it up. They spend it in a grocery store. Little Linda Hunt arrives again. I like this. She just like enters shop, basically like mid-sentence. Like sometimes you get a feeling because there are forces at work. Like
But she always enters, but the camera is framed for somebody else.
and then she just enters.
And she enters, so it has to like move a little bit to frame for her.
Camera has to keep moving to avoid her breaking the fourth wall. Like, stop looking at it.
But fate.
Yeah, and she all day she is trying to buy a lottery ticket. That's what she is trying to do the whole day. Because she has certain numbers are her numbers, and those are the sequence of numbers that's on this $20 bill.
On the first $20
So I think
bill,
because
she
she found it, she's like, no, I have to do the lottery today.
She goes to one of the shops that they rob. That's where she comes in the second
Oh
time.
yeah, she's in
one of the shops that Steve Buscemi tries to rob.
She's in and out of
and then
this
Christopher
all the
Lloyd
time.
just lets her go. She's like, "No, you're good. You're good."
Yeah, he just watches her.
She's trying to buy a lottery ticket,
yeah,
but obviously the robbing begins, and she's like, "Well, this wasn't the time."
Yeah.
And she takes off, and he's like, "Nah, she's fine," which is very cool.
Mrs. Hayford gets the 20 from the supermarket, uses it to snort coke.
What a bitch! She's got like 5 items, whips out a hundy, gives it to the cashier.
Yeah, a fat
Cashier's doing her job.
hundo.
This fucking bitch holds her hand straight out. No waiting. She just hand out, waits for 45 seconds while this woman works out her change, and then calmly and nicely gives her a change. No smile. This fucking rich bitch just leaves. Oh, I hated her.
Have you
Hated her.
have you worked in retail, Isaac?
Uh-huh.
Have you been in?
Oh,
okay.
those people exist.
You.
But I've also seen those people.
This just feels like it's coming from a very real place. For
Oh, it's a
you.
real place. I can hate people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hate.
Good.
I like the ability to hate.
You're gonna need it.
Oh, she just...
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it irked me
I
from
didn't
the get-go.
even notice that happen.
The cashier's being lovely.
Yeah.
Being friendly, and she smiles at old Linda, what's-her-face, who leaves. She's
Yeah.
like, oh, that was quite adorable that she
Yeah.
didn't get
What a funny little person.
didn't
she
get
said
to have
herself.
her lottery ticket at this point in time.
Oh yeah, because the machine doesn't work or whatever.
And then this fucking bat comes in.
This rich hag.
And she buys like $5 worth of shit,
Well,
but gives
Isaac-
a hundy.
She's in a rush because she really needs to do some coke.
Yeah, she's got a driver
She is-
standing next to her
You
car
gotta-
outside.
Look, maybe Mrs. Hayford isn't behaving that well, but she is fiending, mate. And so
she's got a
goes to this,
hankering.
and I don't know what's going on here. This is going to a drug dealer on the side of the street to do coke just like once.
Oh no, she's buying coke, I think, and then
She's just testing
She
it.
tests. She does a
Okay.
test, but out
I
of
watched
all
this-
the $20 bills she got given as change, one of them is covered in blood and coffee and marks from a pen.
Yeah.
One of them is disgusting. The rest are clean. She rolls the disgusting one up
Well, wouldn't you?
and uses that to do her
Oh
nice
right.
line.
Oh yeah.
And then that was disgusting. And we
True.
watched it enter her nose.
As we've said, you only put clean money in your body.
Correct.
Doesn't matter if it's your mouth. Doesn't matter if it's your nose. It's got to be clean.
But why did we have to see it insert into her nose for her to do the line? Why do we have to have that close up? I hated that.
Because you just had enough of her by this point.
It irked just like straight in there, real deep too.
Got to get it in there, mate.
It was uncomfortable.
Get it down the back where the mucous membrane is.
Uncomfortable. And
the-
then
for the
the drug dealer's
transfer.
like, "This is not the only community service I do."
Yeah.
And then we shoot
I also
to
run a youth camp.
we shoot to him running
Now-
a fishing.
Okay. This is the most fucked part of the whole movie. This really needs to be addressed. What the fuck was happening here? So drug dealer man runs this.
His name is Drug Dealer Man.
Youth camp, and and
The youth camp
here's the
owns
game.
a puddle.
And they do a game,
Yeah, a fishing game.
and the game is you put $20 in a dissolvable gelatin cap, and you feed it to a fish. And then you chuck that fish in a barrel with a bunch of other fish, and the kids fish. And I presume every time one of them catches a fish, he slices it open, head to tail, to see if it's got the $20 in it.
Yeah.
And when one of them wins, you take out the now sodden in fish entrails and blood $20 note. And this is an Australian money, which will last beyond the nuclear holocaust. This is just like paper American. This is just like a piece of newspaper. And he's like, you've won. And then you unfold it. And
Covered in blood.
Covered in gore. And you go, there you go, mate. Don't even rinse it off or anything. Don't wipe it down.
No.
And the kid goes, yay. And they touch it, and then they touch their own face, and they all high-five each other. And that's the game.
I think the game itself is they're on a youth camp to go fishing and learn how to do fishing. So all the fish they catch is their dinner for the evening. They get to take it home. We got fish today, Mum.
This feels a lot like a hangover from the Depression-era version of this screenplay.
I think that would have come from that, yeah.
This does not feel like a 1993 thing to be doing.
But why did the capsule that he put the $20 in need to dissolve?
That is written in my notes. Why does the capsule dissolve?
Why does it need to do that?
Put it in a aluminium capsule or something.
Anything.
So that it will not be covered in fish guts.
It's disgusting.
Big 1930s energy from this sequence. Big, like, Dust Bowl energy.
Well, they wouldn't have had dissolvable capsules back then.
No, they just poke it down the throat, probably. Just raw, which you might as well, because
Or
there's no
You
difference.
just, like, pull a couple of scales off the side of one fish, be like, this is the fish that gets you the prize. And it goes.
There you go.
There you go. That solves it.
That's another one.
Ugh.
I mean, if you just had to shove it down their throat as just raw
But
dollar
also,
$20
we
bill,
watched him do that
Then
to
you
an
could-
actual fish as well.
then you know
You
just
wouldn't be allowed
just
to
have
do that on film these days.
Yeah,
Like, you wouldn't be allowed to hold the mouth of a fish open and shove your fucking hand down its gullet
I don't know.
and then cut it open on screen.
Peter doesn't get as worked up about fish. Does it? It's hard to.
Yeah.
It's hard to get yourself going in a good lather about fish.
Because you can't pat them.
They can't scream.
Mm.
I mean, they scream silently, obviously.
Yeah.
But they don't have vocal cords.
Constantly, actually.
Constantly,
It's
yeah.
a constant scream.
Yeah, because of the horror of the ocean.
Whales can scream, but we can hear their screams.
Yeah. And that's why we try not to kill them, even though we've still killed just millions of them, mate.
And still do.
Yeah.
Yay us.
This desk is made from whale.
Yay us.
So there's that fish bit. The kids find cards for sex workers, returning to the weird theme of this episode of underage people interacting with, sexual content. The kids find cards for sex workers, and they use a $20 bill to call a sex line.
Yeah, they go to a bowling alley and have clearly been bowling or doing something, and so he's calling the sex.
Do they still have the
sex
fish
line.
with them?
No, this is a different kid. Different kid. The kid who had the money goes to the bowling alley. His Asian friend who had like 5 fish goes home.
Right, okay.
Goes home with those 5 fish. I fed my family for a week, bruh.
Yes. This is a really big deal during the Depression.
And at said bowling alley, Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser again.
He's doing weird bowling in the background.
Yeah, and then sitting around outside like seeming kind of homeless. Yeah. So I think this guy, the guy from the bowling alley, he thinks he's a bit homeless. And so he tries to give him $20.
Give him the $20.
And Brendan's like, no.
Could you imagine if it was the same 20? If he got it, how much luck and fate he would have.
Yeah.
Receiving that $20.
Yeah, all right, Linda Hunt, take it easy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the forces at work beyond our imagining. That guy is Matt Frewer, who I knew I recognized from something because he has a very distinctive jaw, and he plays a relatively minor character in Dawn of the Dead, the 2004 version.
Nice.
Dies very early on.
Relatively minor.
Does great.
Nothing else.
That guy then goes to bingo, obviously.
Because it's a fun game.
Yeah.
As he exclaims quite loudly.
There's a priest there who's weird and likes pie too much. Does a big pie analogy about how life is. Just loves analogies too much, this priest.
Elizabeth Shue's dad turns up. Also loves bingo.
Loves bingo. And then just immediately dies of a heart attack.
Yeah, guy sits down next to guy from bowling alley who then gets a bingo straight away, screams it, and then our frame sort of like moves and you lose Elizabeth Shue's dad. Come back and he's just slumped over the table, totally dead.
Just face in his chicken wings or whatever it is.
That was the funniest part of the whole movie.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I love her.
That's some comedy. That's some dark comedy.
Yeah. Person just keeling over dead unexpectedly. It's always pretty good.
Yeah. And then cut to, we don't even, like, it's not confirmed that he's dead, but
he
we
got
cut
the
to
20.
mortuary. Yes, he got the 20 because...
In change.
Yes.
Well,
yeah, we're not, like, shown it specifically, but he got the 20.
While paying the door charge for bingo or whatever it is. And so then we have to just plow through this whole funeral process for
bingo
the dad.
is quite expensive.
Yeah, I
Doing,
guess.
like,
I never
I
want
did,
to find out.
Disability care for a little while last year.
Okay, fair enough.
And the person I was working with at the time loved bingo.
Mm-hmm.
It is expensive as fuck to play bingo.
What does it cost to play bingo?
Like at least, well, John was playing for about $60 every time we went.
Jesus, that's 3 20s.
Uh-huh.
As we've established.
And there were women there spending like hundreds on bingo cards for the day.
I guess it's just...
And
yeah,
like
well, yeah,
you win money if you win at bingo. It's basically gambling.
Yeah, it's just a
But it's gambling with
seeming
texters.
casino.
But it doesn't even seem nice. It was in a really like weird like community hall type
I just
room
mean like
attached
less
to an RSL.
Less, yeah. Well, yeah, it's more RSL vibe. It's less aggressive.
The pokies are somewhere else.
There are strippers nearby, kind of vibe. Yeah, not the strippers are aggressive. I just mean like Vegas is a lot. That's all I'm saying.
Aggressive strippers.
Vegas is a lot. Can I say that? Can I say that? And then this might be my favorite bit. The stripper is the funeral director.
Oh, that's so cool. She's finding her way in life.
I think she just has 2 jobs: funeral director by day, stripper by night. You know,
Well,
you got to make ends
the
meet.
potion she got from
Remember, this is during the Depression.
the witch. The potion she got from the witch was about her finding success, and maybe this is her success.
Maybe isn't this like the next day?
No, this is weeks, months later.
No, it's not.
Yeah, Brendan Fraser's life has turned around. It's negative.
When did that
life.
time pass? I guess maybe in the evidence room.
Yeah, the buck stopped there for a little while at least.
Ah, good point. The
Brendan
buck
Fraser
stopped.
had a different job
Time jump.
because he was delivering things that were not gum.
Well, yeah, but I can imagine it could be like a couple of days because he'd get new jobs like that. He's Brendan Fraser.
This is
he walks
true.
out of
He
one
is
job,
Brendan
walks
Fraser.
into another one.
But
says,
I
"Do you have a
assume
daughter?"
Time is just passing.
Okay. I love a lot of the stuff she was saying. Going to come look at the resting enclosures.
Yeah, that's so
Ooh,
weird.
That's unsettling.
An underground life of 9,000 years.
Yeah, well, 900, I think, but still.
What? I don't want to know about that.
These coffins have an underground lifespan of at least 900. I don't want to be around in 900 years. Can you imagine still being a physical object on this earth in 900
Yeah,
years?
sealed in a little timber box.
Don't be doing that. People have other stuff to worry about in 900 years. Don't be digging up our coffins.
I would rather be consumed by the earth
Yeah.
and utilized for something else.
Yeah. Mulched.
Mm.
Just chuck me on the compost heap and mix me in.
Like, let me decompose for a little while first, and then, like, once the smell's gone, use that.
I want to be used for science.
Use the fiber.
I want to be.
Science would cool.
I want to be the skeleton in the science classroom. Link all my bones together.
Haunt a classroom.
Yeah. And I'll be just trapped, silently screaming inside it.
What's that thing where they sliced a person like hundreds of times and put them in glass, and then like
Oh yeah.
you know that there was like some criminal who gave his life to science and gave his body to science
To get I think it's called a sagittal view.
That's a terrifying word.
Yeah, it's not fun, is it?
No, but yeah, they like sliced, and you can like layer these glass and just see a human, I guess.
Well, good on that criminal, I guess. Yeah, those. Yeah, the views of the human body are one of the most horrible things you'll ever see in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, don't do any of that. Just be cremated and we all move on. Scatter the ashes
into space.
At a circus or
I'd
something.
love to be shot into space.
I'd love to shoot you into space.
Thanks, man.
Dream about it. Fucking. As soon as spaceflight is available to the general public, you're gonna get a ticket to the dodgiest, most Eshe one there is.
Why Eshe?
And just never come back.
Jesus, man.
He went into the moon. 1,000 miles an hour. So,
Turns out if you crash,
I'm very aggressive tonight. I'm like Vegas.
Okay, so Brendan Fraser says no to the cash. Old man dies.
And then it's the funeral.
The funeral happens.
That priest is there. I love it. He was basically like, old mate's dead. We'll miss him.
Oh,
let's hit it.
Again, funniest part too.
So he's in one of these like mausoleum rooms where all the coffins get put on little shelves like safety deposit boxes. And he is like 2 stories off the ground. So they've got an incredibly loud crane to lift the coffin into the air. This is all good stuff.
That's hilarious, but it's not funny when you're watching it.
And it's not like a funny story overall. It's a sad story about how this guy wanted to be a writer and was mean to his daughter. Like you're not getting any comedy out of the Elizabeth Shue side of it.
No, in and
what
of itself,
are we doing?
that could be turned into a very cool death at a funeral type comedy movie.
Yeah.
But that's not what we get in $20.
No, I think there's all the components here are great, and I think I would just rather see it mashed together into a 90-minute story rather than all these little, because it just becomes disjointed, especially with such a great 20-minute we're just telling this story in the middle, and then like there's no Brendan there, and then you start and then
when Brendan keeps coming back, which is great for everybody, but when he keeps coming back, it ruins the flow of anthological stories.
I really didn't think he was going to, so I thought
after the bachelor
party
ended, I'm like, that's like disappointing for his character to
that's
end.
anticlimactic. Yeah, a lot of this it felt
but like it would have made sense because this is still early on in career for Brendan Fraser. So like if Daniel Craig early career Daniel Craig had been in a film like this, his character would have had that scene and nothing else.
Yeah,
which is sad.
And it's crazy because this is post school ties.
This is post school ties.
They auditioned 5,000 people. Wouldn't you be annoyed you audition 5,000 people, then you find Brendan Fraser, you're like, wish we saw this at the start.
We've wasted fucking
I've spent a year and a half,
man. I've done literally nothing else.
I'm Pat McCorkle.
5,000.
I'm Pat McCorkle.
If everyone's tape is say like 2 minutes long,
you got to put them in
5,000 times. That's a fuck ton of time. That is a guy's full-time job.
That's
for
roughly
a year.
10,000 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine finding some of those tapes. That'd be pretty cool.
Imagine spending an entire year watching that shit, and then the movie comes out, doesn't do as well,
and no one's
you're like,
that bothered. I watched 5,000 audition tapes for a movie that no one saw. For a movie that is quite good and no one's ever going to talk about.
This is why it makes sense.
Except for 4 guys with 2 podcasts.
Like a casting agency just is built to like watch all that shit and be like, okay, these were the good ones.
Well, I mean, maybe that's who Pat McCorkle is.
Pat McCorkle.
But yeah, it would start after, I think once you get into the 3,000, it would start to break you down.
Imagine if Brendan Fraser's like 4,998th.
Well, I mean, they
watch a couple more afterwards, but like, no, I think we had it back there.
We've had him. Go back to Encino Man. And so then there's just like, for me, just a fairly sort of boring scene with Emily and her mum, and she's like, "Yeah, you wanted to be a writer, obviously." It's just like a bit obvious. And so then it's airport time, airport climax, classic 90s. Finish your movie in an airport. Everyone loves it. I still love
Ready
it.
to inspire Love Actually.
Airports are inspirational places of transition and change and growth and climax and orgasm. And so that's why it's great to start your movie there. Or set the whole thing there, like The Terminal. That's why that's the greatest movie. Because it's all in the airport. Or Die Hard 2.
Die Hard 2.
The best Die Hard, obviously. So Emily's leaving because she's had an epiphany, and her brother says, "What the hell's an epiphany?
Can you
fucking
fix
dead
the
shit?"
statement and say the not the best Die Hard, the third best Die Hard movie?
No.
Real quick.
No.
Real quick, though.
No, but Die Hard 2 is the best Die Hard because it takes place in an airport.
You were incorrect.
So that's why.
But it's the third best Die Hard movie.
Well, of the Die Hard set at an airport.
It's the best one set at an airport.
Thank you.
It's the best one that has a scene take place at an airport.
There you go. That's all I'm saying. It's also better than the other ones, just, you know, in every way.
We're being very violent tonight.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
About our religious beliefs.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm blaspheming. Lord of the Rings is pretty mid as well. So... And she's like, find the name of a famous movie on this bill. And then she's like, it's gone.
What the fuck does that mean?
It's Gone with the Wind. Tears up the bill. I don't know what we're doing here. I don't know what any of this is.
Is that supposed to be funny?
Brendan is at the airport.
Having chats with his ex-fiance's dad.
To whom I presume he said, please meet me at the airport. I'm going to Spain. I'm not meeting you beforehand. Can you also drive out to the airport and meet me in the cafe?
Can you give me a lift to the airport?
Maybe.
Because that's kind of adorable. You're the only stable adult influence in my young life.
Yeah.
I would like, would you please drive me to the airport and pay for my ticket to Spain?
And you're clearly much more understanding and nicer than your daughter. Because the dad doesn't give a shit about the $20.
Nah.
He's like, dude, if it was up to me, you'd all still be on like Donkey Kong. It's only my weird daughter who thinks I care about it and couldn't even just lie to me a little bit.
Because he's like, that's not what I meant. I just meant like...
I was doing a bit. I was doing a bit and trying to do a thing with some symbolism. And the whole thing has blown up because of it.
I like to assume that ex-fiance's dad has purchased his ticket to Spain. I like
nice.
that headcanon.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand how Brendan Fraser's character gets the money for a ticket to Spain if he's quit his job.
Well, he's working.
And then quit his other job.
He could...
Because he had a job as a courier.
Yeah.
And quit that on the spot after meeting David Schwimmer.
Did he?
Yeah, he took his jacket off, left it there, and threw his folder down the fucking stairs.
Meeting David Schwimmer will do that to a man. You get a new job, you're excited, you know the boss's daughter's hot, you think this is the one, you turn up day one. Hey, we're on a break. Done. Immediately out of there. You just drive the forklift into a wall, get out, leave.
Yeah, presumably he had the courier van, like, out at sight. Did he just leave it out the front of David Schwimmer's building?
Just left it with the keys in.
Keys in. I quit.
Hazards on.
Good luck.
Drove into the middle of the freeway. Broke the keys off in the ignition. Wedged,
not even in the ignition, in the lock outside.
Wedged a stick against the horn, so it was just blaring. Turned the radio up to Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here. Set it on fire. And then just wingsuit jumped off the edge of the freeway. It's way too close to the ground. Just immediately hits the ground and dies. Lands in a skip. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
Where did the wingsuit come from?
That was Getaway. That was his getaway plan. Because by this point, crowds have amassed around this evolving van stunt he's doing.
But they're at the airport.
Then Brendan gets up from the table. He hits Elizabeth Shue with his bag, and they have a bit of a meet cute.
They have a meet cute and end the film with their meet cute.
And you think, the end of the film. But then no! Because Linda Hunt's
I like
still
that
on
the
bullshit.
end comes up.
Yeah.
But then Linda Hunt comes in to shot
She
again.
finds the shards of the $20 bill, tapes it together. And so this is something I never knew existed. There's seats in the airport, and there's a chair for TV viewing. And it has a little TV set up in front of it so you can watch the TV. I've never even seen that before. Never knew that was an option. I guess it makes sense.
It's great. And they're not... Because back then... little LCD or LED TVs didn't exist. So that's like a full box television strapped to the front of this chair that you can sit in.
It's
Coin operated.
It's a box. It goes as far backwards as up and down. It's a cube, Sam. You're trying very hard to describe a cube.
It's
God.
like what a Mac computer looked like at first. You know the first Macs that were released? What did they look like?
Yeah, and they were kind of
colourful
transparent.
ones.
Yeah, ugly, aren't they?
Yeah.
You look back at
my
them.
primary school got those.
Yeah, I remember
fancy
we had a
as
couple.
fuck.
Yeah, just played games and stuff. I remember.
I don't remember ever using one. I just knew that they were multicolored and it was very cool.
I remember one of my primary school classes, and in the corner of the classroom was the computer.
Yes.
There was the computer we had for the class, and people would get turns. You get to have a turn on the computer for like 30 minutes. There was no schoolwork to do on it. None of the schoolwork was related to the computer.
You just sit on Microsoft Paint.
Microsoft Paint, or there were like a couple of little games and stuff you would play, and it was just kind of acknowledged that I guess they wanted us to have some computer time. They're like, this will probably come up in the future. And thank God they did. I'm glad I got that running start. So now that's why I'm so verbose with it and with it all now.
I remember my knowledge of computers was literally Googling chords for songs and song lyrics.
To this day.
At school, printing them out and taking them to music class.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember using computers for anything other than that.
I
like
remember,
maybe Google for like ancient history assignments and shit, but the rest of that, nothing.
Yeah, well, not in primary school. In high school, it started to become.
My phone heard me say the word Google just then and assumed I was talking to it, so the rest of that sentence was just a question that I apparently asked the ether.
Yeah, the ether, which is now the internet. It used to just be air, but now
something is there.
it's not just in the corner of the
Yeah,
classroom
it used to be
anymore.
a void, but now something is there.
There is no void. You stare into the void long enough, it will
Become
give you an
the internet.
AI-generated image of a pineapple. The lottery numbers came up on the chair for TV viewing, and
She
the little
didn't
lady
have the ticket yet.
would have won the lottery because her numbers do come up.
Yeah.
Is
That'd fuck you up. Because the whole film, we see the jackpot just pop up every couple of days.
That's not going to be good for her, I think, going forward.
Mentally, no. But she keeps she takes the money together, goes to a bank, and says, "Is this good?"
Yeah, I like that.
And the woman's like, "Well, technically, 50%, 51% is legal tender, so I can give you this fresh, crisp,
Which is
$20 note."
insane. You could just cut the end off a piece of.
Yeah, you could just
money.
find disgusting money. Or you could cut one directly in half, take it to the bank and say, "Hey, I've only got this.
Yeah.
Is it enough to get, can I swap it for one I can actually use?" And the bank's like, "Yeah, we're just going to burn it, so go for your life."
Mm-hmm.
And then come to another bank with the other half. You're Steve Buscemi, like, low con right here.
They'd just measure it and figure out that one of them's 49.
Damn it. What if you put it on like when, you know those things where you can break a block of chocolate into the specific amounts, and then when you put it back together again, it's got this extra square hanging off the side.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
you put that
I hate
together
that
again, it's got
stuff.
that extra square off the side. It's infinite chocolate. Infinite $20 bills. Yo.
I'm really not following you here.
That's okay. It worked in my mind.
You just really want to do cons, don't you? You're always trying to
man.
figure out. You've been really inspired by this movie where the con man got
Christopher
shot
Lloyd.
and died. Yeah, I like that. She puts it down on the can and she goes, "Is that good?" That was a good line delivery. And so that's $20. Bit of a weird one.
Bit of a weird one. Not terrible, but not anything
Not terrible.
amazing. There
Some
is
of
something
it-
amazing in there.
Some of it great, and that's another screenplay we can be working on.
If that comes back in 10 years, don't read into this at all.
Well, like if that gets released.
No, if that little 20 minutes comes back in a couple of years' time for something else, something better,
If you start seeing that around,
don't think about it too much.
Lord knows we won't have. So, we don't score Brendan's movies out of 10 or anything. We rank them. This is number 6 on the list. The top 5 thus far, from bottom to top. Dogfight, more like dog shit. Child of Darkness, Child of Light.
You said that every time.
Well, I think we will say that from now on. Encino Man, School Ties, Presumed Guilty, still number 1.
Nice.
This is not number 1. No. This is not number 6.
It's also not number 2.
It's also not number 5. Well, no. So is it above? It's above Child of Darkness, Child of Light.
It is above that. Yes,
that's a big.
We
load
got
of
some
nonsense.
good Brendan.
So the big question is $20 better or worse than Encino Man?
I would say better.
The Christopher Lloyd Steve Buscemi is definitely better,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just more our thing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Encino Man could have been our thing,
People,
but it just wasn't.
People will not like this.
Well, are we putting it under to satiate the public?
Well, we've never done anything else to satisfy them before. Bit late to start now.
I did enjoy this more than I enjoyed watching Encino Man.
I think I enjoyed Encino Man more just because it's just a more potent cultural artifact. You know, there's just it's.
But is
got
this
lot
a more realistic 90s?
Well,
than
yeah,
Encino
this
Man's
is taking
90s?
place in the real world, and Encino Man takes place
In Encino.
in Encino,
The fictional town
the
of
mythical land of
Encino.
Encino, which I think it's from Dungeons and Dragons originally.
Where do you want to put it? I
I just feel like
Encino Man is more of a thing.
Encino Man's more of a thing. It's just bringing a lot more life to the screen. Some of this was just dull for me, except for the good movie in the middle. To be honest, the Brendan Fraser stuff at the start, I was like, yeah, whatever. This is all just kind of going through the motions a bit here. I think Encino Man's it's punchier. You know, it's weird and hard to get into now from our vantage point.
Every story in Love Actually means something, whereas not every story in this anthology movie means anything.
Yeah, and it's kind of aggressively unresolved.
Whereas Love Actually resolves pretty much all of them, except one. But that was a mistake she made for herself, so that's fine.
Which one's unresolved?
The one who keeps answering the phone from her brother, because she loves her brother so much.
Well, it's resolved.
Yeah, but she just doesn't get...
It's just not a happy ending.
Yeah.
Resolved doesn't mean everything's good now.
No, that's
Resolved
true.
means you know what's going to happen. You. It seems like you can
You've come to
guess
the
what's
end of
going to
this little
happen.
tale, yeah.
It's the end of the story. And the end of the story
good
is
is Love Actually?
mate.
What if we
pushing
did a
an
Love
open
Actually
door
podcast?
here?
We
What
should
if
do
we-
an episode on Love Actually.
Oh, it's probably 1,000.
Yeah, but have we
Yeah.
done one?
No, but we don't.
Brendan Fraser's in it.
We're already committed to this thing.
We could have chosen Liam Neeson.
We could have chosen loads of people.
We could have chosen that guy who goes to America in Love Actually. Because he's in a few things. And I've seen maybe 3 of them.
Chris Marshall.
Nice.
Yeah, got it.
Nice.
Got it. It's that encyclopedic brain. I think this is below Encino Man.
Put it below.
Not
Keira
all of
Knightley's
it.
filmography.
You have not wanted to do a female actor before because you think it'll get weird.
No, I'm just trying to find a way to do Love Actually episodes. It would get weird.
Not if it's Rachel Weisz. So $20 is number 4 on the list. And now the second and much more important ranking. We also rank which of all the Brendans would win in a fight.
Well, this guy kicks Dogfight's ass.
This is the first one where I think there's no fight on screen, apart from Child of Darkness, where Brendan's barely on screen.
Also, this guy's not very good at handling pressure.
No, he buckles under pressure.
But he is about to go to Spain and travel Europe.
Yeah, but
And if the fight happens after he gets back, man, he's seen some shit. Hostel takes place in Europe.
I was going to say, what do you think happens in Spain?
Yeah, backpackers, they see some shit. I've seen movies.
It's not the Gulf War.
I've seen movies, man. Backpackers go through a lot.
Okay. Oh yeah. So you think he's going to get hostile?
Yeah, if you go backpacking,
But
only one of you gets to come home.
The fight between the Brendans is happening with the characters as they exist in the text. Okay, we can't anticipate.
Oh, we're not reading into the future.
We can't anticipate future hardening events. That's what she said. That will make them into better fighters.
As much as we anticipate those things for Elizabeth Shue and Brendan Fraser at the end of this movie.
Oh, a few hardening events.
Oh, yeah. On the plane.
On the plane.
He
a
asks
mile.
where she's fucking sitting.
Yeah.
Where you sitting? Because Mile High Club about to be.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
About to have 2 new members.
I'm gonna come over and awkwardly ask the person next to you to move. Imagine if you did that, then you sit down, it's like a 12-hour flight, about half an hour in, you realize, oh, I actually don't like this person at all. You're so committed at that point. You're both going to get off the plane in a new country, neither of you know anyone except the other person, and you're just sick to death of them already. How do you extricate yourself
You
from
get that nice awkward, well, bye.
So good, though, because no phones.
Yeah, the
So
90s is the best
easy.
way to leave people.
So easy to just shake a bitch loose. So...
What the fuck?
Sorry. That was a horrible thing to say. It's because I'm a bad boy now, Isaac. I'm aggressive
you're an Eshe now.
and mean, and I don't give a shit.
Word. We found a new lease in life.
It's not good and it's not a strength. It's just what's happening. So, who would win in a fight? I think we're starting near the bottom of the list with this guy because he's indecisive and he doesn't seem physically imposing.
Who's on the bottom?
Although he does wear a cap backwards and wear a sleeveless flannel
He did have a
shirt.
sleeveless flanny.
And he's going to be pretty buff from moving crates.
Yes, he has worked in freight and logistics.
So, yeah, he knows a lot about logistics. So, in terms of fighting ability, I'd put him above Child of Darkness because that's just a teenager with a lacrosse stick.
True. Yep.
In Dogfight, he does win. He's in a fight.
He's also a trained naval officer.
Yeah, and as a fellow Navy guy, I have to say we're pretty good at fighting.
So is Dogfight guy currently second?
No, he's fourth.
It's like second last.
The top is School Ties because he wins lots of fights.
He does win.
Then
a lot
it's
of fights.
Caveman and Encino Man. Then Presumed Guilty because he wins prison fights.
He does win prison fights.
Then Dogfight because he's in a fight.
Then this guy.
Then 20 bucks.
Sam
Mastruski.
McGockle.
Well, that's Pat McCorkle, the co-casting director of School Ties,
Basically the same.
who I think should enter very strongly into the lore of our show from now on. Okay, 20 bucks is fifth. School Ties is still winning in a fight. Presumed Guilty is still winning in the filmography ranking.
Yeah, I understand. I think I'm behind it.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. All right, well, thank you for listening, everyone.
What about your next, Sam?
Next, we are watching...
The Whale. Is it?
No, no, not till 2025.
The Mummy? Can we just watch The Mummy? We can skip stuff and watch good things.
We're watching Younger and Younger.
Ugh.
Ooh, so it's a comedy.
Is it?
Yeah, but starring Brendan Fraser, Donald Sutherland, and Lolita Davidovich.
And it's just
Famously.
Benjamin Button? But...
Jonathan Younger owns a self-storage facility.
Oh my god, that's the best.
Off to a strong
His
start.
name is Younger.
And runs it with his wife, Penny, the other Younger, with whom he has a strained relationship. I don't know if I want to read this out because there's a couple of spoilers in it.
Well, then stop reading. I like that it's a storage... I
It
like
is
it that it's literally Storage King, the movie.
We're starting with storage, and then I think Brendan plays their college-age son who returns home to help run the family business.
The other Younger. The Younger.
Even younger.
Younger.
Evan Younger, they call him. Good to get these jokes out of the way now so we can just approach the film in a simpler and cleaner way. All right, so that's that. Fucking looking forward to it, I guess. It's going to be great. Yoo-hoo. Woohoo. Please engage with our content, etc. Who fucking cares? Yeah, that's it, isn't it? That's the end of that. That's $20. Sorry, everyone. Sorry it's been like this. I'm just trying to be real, you know? Just trying to be genuine.
You could
I
genuinely
don't want to be
enjoy
fake out here.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Because we've never been
I
fake
can't
before.
genuinely feel different. You know, like you can't genuinely change how you feel. So
Smile
this
long
is just.
enough. It helps. Just smiling. It releases nice endorphins, makes you feel good.
I don't want to. I don't want
You could
endorphins.
go for a run,
No, thank
and that
you.
makes you feel good too.
Yeah, but I don't want to feel good. I've kind of settled into this now.
Okay.
You know, so just it's difficult. You know, life is difficult. It's full of challenges constantly sometimes, and it's just you're just trying to do something. You don't know if you're doing the right thing or
You okay?
whether it's worth it and whether it's like as good as you think it is, or if just how best to spend your time that's running out, time that's going by fast all the time. After Younger and Younger is son-in-law. That's Paulie Shaw.
Oh.
So that'll be good. Plenty to talk about there. All right. Well, join us next time, everyone, for another fun, kooky, and entertaining conversation about Brendan Fraser, the only place on the internet where you can get that. I promise you that.
I'm not excited about more Paulie Shaw.
It's going to be tough. Should we watch that together for
I think
moral
we
support?
should. Like,
We'll get some snacks. I'll light a scented candle, and we'll watch a Pauly Shore movie.
It's not like
We can take breaks
our
and go stand
sense of
outside and look
humour.
at the sky and then come back in. It's not our sense of humor.
It's weird. It's
It
not
is.
anyone's sense of humor.
It's, hey, he had a
MTV
massive...
tried to make people like a lot of things
People loved Pauly Shore. He
because
was
MTV
a bit-
told them to.
No, MTV is responding to what the audience responds to. They can't make you like Pauly Shore. One thing I know about Pauly Shore is it's so weird and uncomfortable to engage with at this stage. The fact that any audience was responding to it, that could only be organic. There's no way you could manufacture that. And so there's just more fellow members of the human race that we do not understand. Thank you for listening, everyone. We'll be back soon to talk about younger and even younger.
Bye.